the one who's gonna make the world so that it's a new world? Basically, it's stream world.
Yeah, you can do, sure.
What world do you? What terrain do you want?
The starter one.
Okay, so grass fields.
Because all the biomes is just depending on just one location.
I'm just gonna call it Terra. The session name sounds pretty simple. I'm not gonna skip the intro because the last time I played this game was 3 years ago. You already know how it goes?
For the most part.
So I'm just gonna play right now because I think the intro takes a bit.
Alright, sounds good.
And so I don't get too spoiled by when you join, you're like, oh yeah, let's do this and let's do that.
Oh no, I've only literally got to Space Elevator, which is like completing all the tutorial tiers. That's it. That's about as far as I got. I completed the tutorial and that's it.
Video is a summary of your pending duties as an exoplanetary pioneer for Fixit Incorporated.
Okay, whoa.
Pioneers have 3
FNAF?
assigned
FNAF sounds?
to ultimately accomplish project assembly. Use provided blueprints to build the necessary buildings.
Oh, what? My key buttons? Go? What? Hang on, I'll use.
Chart the planet and gather resources to provide desired results.
Yeah, F9, F10.
Make sure to report any unusual
Exploit, got it.
to R&D for analysis. Expand your factories, outposts, and pipelines through automation and augmentation.
I'm gonna start my stream too.
That's it. Get to work and be
I have one rule. I want to try to keep the factory organized.
Please remain
No.
during full procedure.
That's the one rule.
That's
Is
not
try to
gonna
keep it
happen.
organized.
3, 2, 1. Planetfall procedure initialized.
Yo guys, welcome back to the stream with Parsival.
I'm falling.
Bro, I was fucking muted when I tried to do. I'm still muted my microphone, and I'm like, okay, one sec. Why is it? There we
I
go.
reduced the volume a little.
Hi. No. Okay, there we go. So, yeah, I reduced your volume a little. I just did like an epic intro, but my microphone was muted, bruh. That's very cringe.
Nah. Good content. Good content.
No, my stream was. I was like, "Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the stream. It's Parsi. I'm with my boy Quartzi. We playing some Satisfactory, yo."
That's cringe.
I know exactly. That's why I'm doing it. Because I hate myself now.
Interesting. My OBS is running at very high GPU
Please ensure the integrity of
for no reason at all.
exploration suit is at 100%.
Game capture.
I should probably reduce the video quality. Yeah. Graphic preset. I like playing on low.
Fair enough.
It's still running at 100%. What the heck? What is my desktop window manager
No.
doing?
Welcome to
That's gonna
Massage 2,
no.
in the binary star system.
Oh god, that's like as fuck. I'm not even gonna bother with that.
Known as artificial directory and assistant.
I'm just gonna use my normal
support
webcam.
Pioneers such as you in their mission. You are the third of your sector to survive.
Do I have frame rate somewhere?
Congratulations.
Is there a way I can set my frame rate?
Initialized. Welcome to
No idea.
onboarding.
Join game. I can join.
First objective. Please
Oh,
decide
max
which
FPS is on infinite.
materials will be repurposed
No
to
fucking
why.
way. Oh my god, you just
Yeah.
broke my game.
from now
Oh.
on referred to as
There, capped to 60. Now my computer's not dying. Wow, who would have guessed?
incorporated as cost-effective and
Okay, now I can increase
Goodness,
the
waste.
graphics again, I guess.
Where's the drop
Oh,
pod?
this game looks good.
Where's the drop pod? And why did I sponsor for it?
Press F for dismantle
Please.
mode. What am I supposed to do? Click to dismantle while in dismantle mode. Am I supposed to dismantle my pod?
Yeah.
Okay, I just did. Nothing happened.
Important
Oh.
fixed data and
This stuff went into your
communications
inventory.
and stored in the codex,
Yeah,
including
it's gonna
the
teach me all this stuff real quick.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna get some of these while I'm at it.
Press O. Okay, cool.
Second objective. Please ensure you have your Fixit Incorporated Xeno Zapper equipped before
That's a
leaving the
big
console.
animal.
Note. According to Fixit regulations, every pioneer should have access to a means of defense against extraterrestrial threats.
You got a beard now? Yes, I do. Well, I wouldn't exactly call it a beard just yet, but yeah.
You got a beard?
Yeah, look at my stream.
Oh my god, you're like a hobo now. That's mean.
Okay.
Drag and drop equipment to the hand
Doing-
slot. Okay, let me guess this one.
Where are you?
My zappy zap. We are decently far away from each other. Nope, never mind. We're really close to each other.
Yeah, because this is where I
Yeah.
spawned last time.
I can see you, so it's fine.
Yeah, that's why.
If you just look in my direction, you'll see me jump.
I don't know which your direction is.
South-ish.
Okay.
I mean, the top literally tells you.
No.
Oh, okay. Mine pinpoints me directly to you. Like I can see you on my compass.
Huh. Where are you?
V to scan for iron ore. I was pretty sure somewhere over here was one.
Where are you?
I can see you.
Oh, I see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I set a base up there just because it's convenience. Hello.
Hello.
Oh yeah, so because there's iron ore up there, that's why. And then behind it is copper. So it's just convenient. Oh, you can also sort of bunny hop slide in this game as well.
How do you slide?
Just not uphill. By shift sprint and then C to crouch. If you hold down C to crouch.
Oh, nice. Okay. What am I supposed to do?
Pick up some iron ore.
Hold E. Oh, okay.
Fourth objective, build the hub.
What?
Note, to complete this objective, the resources salvaged.
Oh, this
This
is
one
the
you need to-
actual iron. This is the actual.
Yeah, this is just an outcrop that you need to break anyway.
Ensure the hub is built on spacious open terrain, close to the presence of iron sources.
Still, the tutorial's still talking to me.
Result in non-optimal
Don't do
Yeah.
anything until my tutorial's done.
I would just build the hub up here, that's what
No,
I did. Plus,
yeah,
you
we-
get a nice view.
Okay, I don't like building it there.
Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, no, what's his name? Blitz, that's it. Yeah, there's a guy called Blitz. He's a massive Satisfactory person. He does Satisfactory very well. He does lots of Satisfactory shit. He would absolutely hate my factory because he's very good at the game and very good at doing efficiently. He's like a YouTuber and stuff. If he saw my factory, he'd probably have a heart attack. So,
I hope he sees your factory.
Congratulations. You have unlocked hub
he'd probably hate it, but at the same time, he's seen Josh from Let's Game It Out, and his factory is worse than mine. So,
objective. Complete hub upgrade 1. Note. The
yeah, what do we need to do again? Hub tier 1. We need to make
Next objective.
10 pipes, easy peasy. Basically, go into this crafting bench, press, click on iron
I
ingots, then
can't.
press
It's
space.
occupied.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna make some shit real quick.
Yeah, if you make it, I can't, and then I can't learn.
No, I know. I'm just gonna turn into iron ingots and then. let you
Nah,
do the rest of
I
it.
know. And then just proceeds to not let me figure out.
I like having mining stuff. I like being advanced. Being sent back feels weird.
Okay, how do I give it the resource?
Did you make the pipes or the
Yeah,
rods?
yeah, how do I give it the resource?
All right. Double click on the hub upgrade one, and then go select milestone, and then you can drag and drop.
Select milestone.
And also, if you press
There you go.
space, you don't have to hold anything down when you're crafting. It's quicker.
It's the same speed, but okay.
No, I know, but it means you don't. No, I said you don't have to hold anything down.
You would have to hold down space.
Building, workshop,
No, you can just press it.
equipment,
Oh,
portable miner,
that's cool.
Inventory, additional
So you don't need. That's what I'm trying to say.
feature, personal
Mm.
storage. Sixth objective. Complete hub upgrade.
Okay, yeah,
2.
but portable
Note,
miners are also
portable
just
miners require no power and will mine a node until
cool.
their
But I also
inventory
just
is
make one
full.
giant miner, which is a
Note,
lot better.
Multiple portable miners can be used on a single node.
Hub upgrade 2. What do we need? Select milestone. 10 plates, 10 rods. Easy. Okay, easy peasy. You make 10 plates, I'll make 10 rods. How does that sound? Or do you want me to just like speed us through this?
No, not really. I want to play this game at a regular
Oh, it's
pace.
No, that's fine. It's just this game will slow down a little bit. Oh hey, look, we got a caution hazard sign. That's cute.
It's a Of course, this game will slow down a bit. This is basically Factorio in 3D.
Yes, it is.
Apparently less grindy though.
Uh,
Depends on what mods you get.
yeah. Where are you going? I still can't see you, which is really weird.
I still
Oh,
need more
multiplayer
iron.
settings. Manage players. Okay,
So
session
how-
settings.
Do I have a crafting menu or something?
Show.
Like my own crafting menu? Oh, Q.
Oh. I
Okay.
shouldn't do that. Huh. Huh. I don't know. There's
How
nothing
many
I can do
plates?
to
How many plates should I build?
10.
Okay, I have 10.
10 plates and 20 rods is what you need.
Oh, I thought you made the 20 rods.
No, I made 10 rods. Because I thought you
Oh.
wanted. I can give you 10.
No,
Or 11, actually.
Okay.
There's on the floor.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. They actually have sprites. Okay, I just need a couple more rods. 5 more.
I mean, I can make more. I can
Oh,
give you
yeah,
the
yeah,
iron to
yeah,
make more.
yeah.
There's 31 iron ingots.
Damn.
Yeah, because the little resource node pops at the top give you a bit more ore compared to
Hello.
mining the flat part.
Who's
Good
this?
evening. Good evening, gentles of the men.
Bad person.
Bad
Oh, who's
person.
this? Oh, Hans.
Bad person.
I'm bad?
We're streaming.
Hi.
Hi. Say hello to
Hello.
stream.
Hello, stream.
Oh god, I'm hearing two
Nice.
things at once.
Hold on. Let me head to twitch.whatchamacallit.
Okay, there we go.
Television. It's
Ah,
not
yes.
for television.
Twitch television, but not for television.
Wait, can't
Oh,
I
I
make
had two
biomass or
voices at
something?
I had two voices at once, what the fuck?
Ooh, a
Hee.
smelter.
You are going bonkers.
I can craft a smelter and a crafting bench. An equipment workshop. What are
Oh.
these things?
I have been
Oh,
lied to,
hello,
Quartzi.
thank you
You
for the
said,
follow.
Quartzi, according to your Twitch,
Hold on,
Twitch,
Can I use the workbench?
according
No.
to your Twitch, Quartzi, it says that you're a VTuber, but I don't see a VTubing person anywhere.
Oh fuck yeah! I
My
gave you all
game
fucking
lags.
iron ingots.
I've been deceived.
I gave you all my iron ingots.
I mean,
don't
do you
worry.
want the stream to call like have? There's the ingots, by the way.
Where's Quartzi? Where's Quartzi? You can hear him hopefully in the background.
Oh my god, where is... I need visual.
I need visual contact.
I
No,
need...
hold up. What's this?
I don't need... No, I don't need visual
Hi,
contact. I
want to
need
offer
visual.
You... Oh, fuck off. How do I ban people again?
Right click
I got
ban
one
or
of those-
slash ban their name.
Yeah, that's it.
Are you
I'm,
banning?
Slash ban.
Ban.
Oh, guys.
Who sent you a message?
It was the stubby usurper. Was the
Do you
the
want more
person-
viewers? Is that the guy? You
yeah
want-
you want more viewers and buy viewers and subscribers and stuff.
Why would I want to buy subscribers?
I
Exactly.
don't know. Get one more try. Jared, can I get 2 rods, please?
I mean, if you buy subscribers, you're basically not buying subscribers, right?
Thank you.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Kind of counterproductive.
Yeah.
Maybe no.
Ah.
Did you guys see the new Overwatch map that's coming?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, penguins. All right.
Penguins.
Penguins. Yep. A big ship. Penguins. I'm gonna say a seaside, not seaside, but like a area. Basically, it's in Antarctica, as you can probably tell by the penguins.
I'm surprised I was right with the Japanese lore. Would
Yeah.
be the next one.
We're gonna have to wait till Monday for the trailer. So here's hoping that I get a Junkrat skin. You know,
You wish.
a man can wish. All right.
Yeah, a man can wish or dream. Either way, it's not happening.
Okay. I'm positive he'll at least get something that isn't epic.
That
Yeah,
isn't
this is,
epic. Also, you're
Yeah.
welcome. I am now a VTuber.
it's not
Wee.
fair.
Weh.
I am screaming.
I mean, I guess I can put myself over here.
I was just helping you with your tags, okay? Because like someone
You-
got said here, if I go on VTuber,
Stop, Joker. No one cares.
if I go on VTuber,
Stop it,
I
Joker.
I better see someone in the corner or somewhere on my
I will
screen.
be on the center of the screen. Piss off.
Ah,
Hey,
quality
Quartzi,
content.
Huh?
look over here.
I don't know how to craft them.
It's in the thing I just built.
Oh, where
Yeah,
did you
portable
build it?
miners. Oh, I'm getting another comply message. Cool.
We've got
In
a
the thing that's in the little house I built that's there. See, I built that house. That's not only there, and the
Ah,
workbench. It's also where you build the
equipment.
chainsaw.
Wait,
You also build
chainsaw?
chainsaws though. Yeah, you
There's-
haven't unlocked it yet.
there's a Lucio that keeps DPSing, and I'm gonna cry.
Wait, I can't build it though. It's not letting me build it.
Probably because you don't have the resources.
No, I do. Oh, it was a bug.
Yeah.
I pressed spacebar, but it just didn't do anything. Okay, so how do I put it in my hotbar?
Press tab to open your inventory, and then at the top where you see it, double click on the thing.
Yeah, but that only puts it in my hand. I want to put it in my hotbar.
Yeah, exactly. And no, you don't put it in your hotbar because you don't need to. You just double click it, and then you just left click on the ore field, and you drop it down.
Left click. Oh, cool.
What do we do about this stupid Lucio that's just waltzed around and is booping people?
Oh, it's cute. It had like little eyes looking. It's like a mini robot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the deployment thing is very adorable. Okay, I'm getting tired. Smelter.
You're getting tired already?
No, I'm getting tired of smelting this stuff myself. I wanna automate this shit. I'm gonna pick up one of my deployable things since you just put more down on the iron. I assume.
Well, I put one down.
Yeah.
I
Pick up
didn't
mine,
have
there we
much.
go.
I didn't have much
I'm
iron.
gonna. No, that's fine. I'm gonna put one down and on the copper patch.
Okay.
Harvest it. Alien artifact.
Wait, so the map is not random? Everyone has the same map?
Yeah. No, it's not
Oh,
randomly
so this is not a sandbox game.
No, the
It's
map
not
is
true
pre-generated.
sandbox. Aww. That's so
I'm
boring.
sorry.
Oh, this is also copper. No, this is copper. Ah! Get off me, coward! What are you, a bull?
Yeah, hit it with your Xeno Zapper enough times it'll die.
Okay. Ah, I missed. Yo, this guy's fast.
Or you can just olay him off a cliff.
I did. Zap, zap. Wait, it's not working, I think.
It's this.
Just keep hitting him and you'll die.
Oh, never mind. I did hit him. I was just
What do
confused. There
you-
was no feedback.
What do you guys do when there is a Lucio on the enemy team that is annoying? And by annoying, as in they are purposely coming up to you.
What class are you playing?
Junkrat.
McCree. Nade him once, hit him once, he's dead.
I just killed him as Junkrat.
Yeah, or
With
you
my
just
eye.
or you just hit him and satchel. Done. Easy kill. I'm stealing your
problem is-
copper so I can make this stuff myself. Hee hee hee.
The problem is that both of the DPS and the enemy team.
Don't just place
are
it in random
snipers.
locations.
That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
I don't like you.
Don't worry, I like you too.
That's what the
No,
problem
can I
is.
not?
Lucio's
Oh.
just waltzing around
Oh,
being
yeah, that's fine.
Lucio.
Okay, I have enough wire cable.
Okay, but copper wires or actual cables?
Wire.
Okay, can I?
I'm crafting more. I'm crafting all the iron rods as well.
good.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, now
we
we
need to make
just
a
need.
second.
Now we just need plates. If you want to do the
No,
plates.
we need a second crafting bench. Like Jesus,
Yeah. Do you want to place that?
I'm gonna make one real quick. Yeah.
Dope. Oh my god, that's a lot of iron. Iron. Yeah, iron. You know what a cool game is?
What?
Roblox.
Ah!
Bless you.
I didn't sneeze.
Gesundheit.
I didn't sneeze. Did anyone ask?
Why did you say bless you? I just went ah.
Do you not want to
Bless
be
you.
blessed by the Lord and Savior?
No.
Oh, damn.
Oh, damn.
Damn diddly
Just
dong.
damn.
You know what?
Okay,
You
I
know
got
what
the
the
second
problem.
bench here.
You know what the
Okay,
problem
I'm
is?
finishing off the hub upgrade. I have enough
Cool.
for it.
I'm already
is that-
smelting some copper.
Sounds
This-
good.
Cool. Oh, this is so much nicer than doing it manually.
I hate comp. Han. Why do you hate comp? What did comp ever do to you?
Oh yeah, missing cables.
Okay, I'll do the crafting, I guess.
Congratulations. You have
Yay.
unlocked scanner feature limestone. New buildings and recipes, which can be
What the-
found in the
why is
build
he
menu
nanoed
and craft
in this
bench
room?
respectively. 8th objective. Complete hub upgrade 4. Note. Use power poles to expand the power
This man
network
is
for
nano
optimal
boosted in a
results.
small room.
Wait, so you have auto smelters? Like I can give them a material and they'll smelt it?
Yeah.
Okay, dope. I will put it on the right one. There you go. Now he has 100.
I don't have concrete.
Concrete?
Right.
1 sec.
How do we...
Yeah, I need to get some
limestone?
Don't...
Wait, I scanned for it. Oh,
there's
down
one patch
there.
down here.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is gonna be a win.
Wait, why does my hotbar have electricity on it then?
That's your cable.
Yeah, but why does it have that by default? Why can't I put other stuff on it?
Well, you can put other building things, just not pre-crafted things.
Ow, you hit me. Don't hit me next time.
I didn't hit you.
Yeah, you did. You were the one who damaged me. You did it again!
I don't know what you mean. Uh-huh.
Dumbass. Okay, let me get my limestone.
This is Battle Royale game.
The fact that I'm not dodging makes me win probably as well.
I don't think this is gonna be a win. Fish is might
I mean, if
be
I
a
die,
loss.
I rage quit anyway, so.
Bruh. Nah, I'm gonna die. Ah, fuck.
I wasn't even half health! I can revive you.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
That's
Is this
cool.
like infa-death?
No idea. Hello, God Tempest. How's it going? How are we doing?
Oh my god, it tells me you're dead on the top thingy.
Cool.
Oh, we...
Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Yee.
Yee! Wait, did you fly? What happened?
No, I just jumped up.
Ah, okay.
Oh yeah, you got a bedroom now already. Can we make a platform
Bedroom?
now? Yes.
Did you make the
that's what I
second
said.
crafting table?
Yeah, I did.
Where did you place it?
Right next to the other thing.
Other thing, other thing, other thing. I cannot...
Over there.
Ah. Ah.
Okay, what else
Okay.
can we do? Oh, that we now have constructors, which we need. Oh yeah, reinforced plates for.
Okay, I will get...
Alright, cool.
Bless you, old man.
Oh.
I will get us the 75 plates.
Literally, you're gonna if you have an assassin on, if you have an assassin
Oh,
on
hey,
support, they're
I
not
am
gonna.
having fun. Thank you for the follow there, God Tempest.
I'm going to put my eyes into a blender and call it a sea smoothie.
Sounds tasty.
Hey, what?
What?
A sea smoothie?
Sea smoothie.
Hydrate.
Can't you see the sea smoothie?
I'm legally blind. I don't have my glasses on.
Bozo. Please, allow me to...
Rip bozo.
Just go on a Mr. Beast video. Simple.
Mr. Bean. beast.
Oh, I
Ow.
need cables. Oh,
I need
it's
to
one
turn
thing or
Miles
another.
down. He hurt my ears.
Yeah, no, I'd say I'm having fun. God Tempest, how are we doing? Well, how are you doing?
You guys suck.
There you go. There's a hydration for you.
Gets completely ignored.
Can I make crafting? Oh no, motherfucker.
Language, young man.
Cannot believe
Okay,
you
let me
say
see.
such a heresy.
Where's the copper? There it is. I need to relearn because we're in a slightly different location compared to my offline world. The muscle memory. Eh. Oh, gravel.
What? He wasn't even looking at me. He didn't even have me on his screen.
Oh
He
yeah,
looked
put
away.
the iron in the smelt. I would recommend putting the iron in the smelter and make it quicker.
That was my idea.
Okay, cool. It's in the one that isn't copper.
Well,
right
that
smelter.
kind of makes sense.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. You said it's your first time, so I just want to make things as clear as possible. Oh,
It's my first
motherfucker.
time playing this game, not video games.
Well,
I
you never
play
know.
Mindustry and Factorial, my guy.
Yeah, but you know,
This is just
like
3D.
horrendously different. Yeah, exactly, which makes it such a different experience.
Totally. I mean, I
Where
played
are you?
Roblox, whatever, Factory Tycoon as well. Can't be harder than that.
Hmm.
I actually like the part of the game where it's not automated. Because once it gets automated, it's boring.
Yeah, there's a lot of waiting. But then I guess your goal is just to be even more automated.
That's why I was hoping this game was more of a sandbox world as well. Or at least randomly generated.
No, that's fair. Right, what do I want for you? You were gonna be there. Can I build another one? Yes, I can. No, I can't.
Yes, I can. No, never mind.
Yeah, I'm missing the 2 reinforced plates. You guys new to this game? Not that new. Quartzi is, I don't think, you played Factory, but not Satisfactory.
I got it on early alpha.
There you go.
Just never played it. Dude.
Okay, I walk around the corner and immediately have a huge rock.
But I'm not that new. I mean, I've seen Let's Game It Out play this game a fuck ton. Which is why also a lot of my factories tend to end up looking like monstrous nightmares. I mean, you should see my personal world. It is disgusting. But I like it. I think it adds charm. But of course, Quartzi here is going to do everything he can to stop me from fucking up the factory.
Yeah, the main thing I'm gonna do is probably just leave and do my own thing.
Fair enough. Alright, you will be making yes. You will be making yes. Sure. There we go. If only I had conveyor belts.
Mm-hmm.
What do we need? Plates done. Oh, okay, that's easy peasy. And just the concrete's a pain in the ass.
I got concrete already.
You got 10 concrete?
Yeah. I mean, it's not a pain.
Cool.
It takes like 2 seconds.
No, it's just in the pain in the sense that you gotta go mine it out and whatnot.
I mean, it didn't take long. It took like 20 seconds.
Alright, I'll make as many cables as I can.
Well, you only need 20.
Or I guess I won't. Okay.
Why not?
Doesn't want me to. There we go. On that one workbench, it wouldn't want me to.
Ah.
Okay, I have 11 cables. I will donate to those 11. We just need, 9 more. But that's fine.
Okay, I
Yeah.
can make 9 more.
So can I.
Okay, I made 9 more.
Oh, I guess we can't craft things at the same time? Question mark?
Yes, we can.
Hey, there we go. Mark 1 miner. Thank fuck for that.
No, isn't that in the next upgrade?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay, I'll make concrete. I'll go
Congratulations,
get the
you have
lodestone.
unlocked building, conveyor belts and poles. Inventory, additional slots.
Conveyor belts!
Ninth
My
objective,
favorite.
complete hub upgrade 5. Note, portable miners cannot
Yoink
be connected
and
to
yoink
conveyor
and yoink.
belts. Advice, when planning the construction of buildings, note the placement of conveyor belts.
Nope, that's the wrong one. Do we already? No, we don't have storage. Damn. I need two
Can
more
I
reinforced
put
plates.
this guy here? Will this work?
Oh, I need rods. Which I need pure iron for, of course.
Epic balls moment. Oh my god. You want to heads or tails? Really?
For what?
Han wants the
What
heads or
for?
tails.
Yeah, but for what though? Well, we heads were
Which-
tailing.
It's just the gambit. It's just the thingy. The pole or whatever. I forgot what it was called.
Wait, what happened to the one iron miner? Oh, you take that to the limestone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normalizing the gameplay.
More.
Schmert.
Nice copper. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can have your prediction, Han, of heads or tails.
Ah.
It's not gonna do anything. Because it's only you. How much do we need? Okay.
75 thingies. Why won't it let me craft? There you go.
Oh my god, you put 3k points into tails? You know you could lose all of them. Just by heads occurring, right? Kampa. Is this what an XQC fan looks like? Just gamble everything away.
Okie dokie.
I mean, if I could, I would totally gamble heads right now.
Once we get the miner up and set, then we're all good.
Okay, I should have enough for 20 concrete. Does grass regrow at some point?
I think so. Not that it would make a difference considering how much fucking grass there is.
Yeah, but I mean the one you can pick up,
Yeah, that's what I
the
mean.
bushes. Okay.
I mean, there's a fuck ton, but yeah, I'm pretty sure it regrows. Oh, you're standing in the way.
No, I wasn't. What are you talking about?
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
You were too. Oh, I'm literally missing everything. Concrete wire and a rod. Fuck me sideways.
No, thank you.
Boring.
You're boring.
You're boring.
Okay.
Nuh-uh. Ooh, sick. Plus, the trees also have leaves on them, so when we get a chainsaw, we won't have a leaf problem, I can tell you that much.
Are you gonna do the cables?
Oh, I already have like 44 cables on me, one sec.
Nice.
You just need to make the last... Actually, no, that should be everything.
Yeah, 44 is mathematically correct. I'll do the rods. I have enough.
Oh my. Okay.
There we go.
Yay! Do we have the splitter yet? No, we don't. That's fine.
No. Oh, we need more concrete.
Congratulations. You have
Mm.
unlocked Building Minor Mark
that.
1. Building
that.
Storage
Take that.
Container. Hub feature Additional Biomass Burner.
There you go.
10th objective. Complete Hub Upgrade 6. Note. There are no notes.
Minor Mark 1.
Streamers can't cast a prediction on their own channel. Damn. Hey, you want to predict heads real quick, Parsi? On my stream? Just so that Han loses absolutely everything when she fails?
Yeah. Alright, I'll get up your stream real quick. Boop. Hey, Jack, how's it going? Alright, how do I do the prediction shit? Yeah, so.
There should be a button that
Oh,
says
gee.
predict.
Um,
Then you want to put something into heads.
turn on shield mode, mod view, chat highlight, chat settings. Is it slash predict?
No, it's just there.
Oh yeah, slash prediction. Okay, wait, no, that's just looking at manage prediction.
The predict is just at the top of the chat.
Oh, predict, there we go.
Yeah, you have like a couple seconds left.
Still want to participate. There we go.
Alright, that's good. 10. Perfect. You will get 299 times more if you win.
Sick.
That's brutal.
Well, obviously, oh yeah, no, this game is basically 3D
Ah, the
Phantom
prediction just ended.
and 2-1. Why are you
Did I get robbed? No, you didn't get robbed.
Why are
Only
you
if
automatically smelting the oh, that's because I took down the smelter, I forgot about that. Yeah, because I'm moving it over to the mining depot.
Alright,
moving to
chat.
the iron
Alright,
depot.
Han, get ready.
Who won the prediction?
Well, I'm gonna show it now. Okay. Heads or tails? Oh, tails won.
Yeah.
You lost
Han
your...
won?
Yeah, so Han does not lose everything.
Oh, that's a shame. I mean, yay, congratulations, Han. I guess.
Congratulations, Han. You got like one
Lucky.
extra channel point.
Whippy. Okay, what do I need? So,
Okay, I'm gonna craft the iron plates because I'm bored.
that's fine.
Let's go, Han.
Okay, and then smelter.
Smelting away.
And then
I don't
constructor.
know. Da da da, mine it anyway.
Damn. Oh, I'm missing wire, you bastard.
Hee
What do you mean I'm missing wire? I have... Oh, normal copper. Right, okay.
hee hee.
Yoink.
Aww. $69.
There we go, our iron miner is up and running.
Nice.
And I just deconstruct this real quick. And get
Whoa.
our copper up as well. Yoink, I'll pick up. I'm missing nothing. Fuck yes. Smelter. Constructor. go. Oh, I'm missing iron plates. Okay. Oh, I need to set my thing, the smelter and the refinery to actually do that shit. Why do you have rolled toilet paper? Oh, it's kitchen paper. Not toilet.
Okay.
Oh yeah, let's just random ass kitchen paper.
I don't judge.
Because I got nowhere else to put it. Yoink. You do that, and then you do that. Cool. We have storage yet. Organization. We have storage container. Fuck yeah!
Seems
Okay,
pretty
why don't you-
Among
oh.
Us to me, not gonna lie.
Okay. Sus, yeah.
Imposter.
Did you pick up any leaves by any chance?
Yeah?
Cool.
Do you
Because you can
want
put them
them?
into one of. Oh, I was gonna say you can put them into one of the two.
At base?
Yeah, based one of the two bioreactors.
What's a
we go.
bioreactor?
On the side where the smoke's coming out, where the cables are going into.
You could just say generator.
No, because it's a bioreactor. Because it
I-
takes fuel.
Generator.
Generators are something else.
Generator.
Generator.
There, now it has 500. And the other one has 130. You're welcome.
Perfect.
Alright.
Thank you, sir.
Bitteschön. Okay, can I stop? Thanks.
I have to go. I'm gonna go eat and have fun. Oh, thank you very much. Enjoy your food. And thank you for stopping by. All right, cool. I need rods.
Rod.
Rod Stewart. What?
There's 69 in the hub right now if you want to take those.
What do you mean there's 69 in the hub? What? Where? Oh, you can't take them back once you've donated them.
Oh. Sucks. I guess. Beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep.
Ah, missing
beep,
11
beep,
iron
beep,
plates.
beep. I have one.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not enough.
And the fact that we didn't set up where I set up makes it more awkward because there's now more distance to run to go get the iron.
So?
But I have to fucking cable all the way back,
So?
which ain't a bad idea actually. Oh, I don't have the fucking concrete.
Bless you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, pick up.
Oh no, don't take my concrete.
Production.
Don't
Can I
take my-
build another one?
Don't take my
Oh,
concrete.
Okay.
Where's my concrete from the robot? I was gonna be done with the concrete.
I mean, I can drop you. I got 44. I can drop you.
Yeah,
22.
that's all I need. Oh damn. What if I drop you the concrete instead of the
Oh, yeah.
limestone?
I'll drop you the limestone. You can drop me the concrete. I just need 10.
Oh, there's 39. Enjoy.
All right.
I don't know how to split them.
That's right click. In an inventory, in a mine.
Oh, you needed to place this?
Yep.
Ah. Ooh. That's so ugly.
It is what it is. There you go.
Do I have to give
Plus,
it
you also
something?
need. It needs power, but that's it.
Okay.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
does
I'm
it-
missing iron plates. That's why.
Ah. I didn't
The,
think
the,
it
the
had a
stands
limit.
need concrete. For the most part, doesn't. You can really get fuckity with the conveyors. It's great.
Hmm.
Ah, now I'm missing rods.
Damn.
It's one thing after another.
You're not keeping track of your resources there, buddy.
Well, it's because I don't have too much at the moment. Normally I set down 2 miners here, have one produce just plates, the other produce just rods. It's very useful. What am I missing? All I'm missing is a portable miner. Do you think you can make me a portable miner real quick?
This game seems like Minecraft and Rust from eBay. My guy, You are the furthest from the truth because
Yeah,
there's
honestly.
ain't no way you're playing Fortnite in this game.
Yeah.
Not like you can in Rust and Minecraft.
Can you make me a portable miner, please? Or just drop me a bunch of iron rods
I don't. How do I make a portable miner?
in this little workbench here. Or you can drop me 4 rods.
I don't have any of those materials.
Okay. Can I make any iron? I can make 2 iron rods. Cool. Okay, I'll quickly. I'm setting myself up for the future. Cool. And now back. Once I've got both miners set up, one doing plates, one doing rods, we're in the good. And I can just have to wait, and I can have them all piped back here into a cargo container, and then we will.
Do
be all
storages
Gucci.
only take in one resource?
Oh no, they can take in whatever the fuck you want,
Okay.
but they only have 1 input and 1 output.
That doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, I'm
Can
missing
you
iron rods.
do organized outputs?
What do you mean organized outputs?
You can put like a splitter and then it splits one resource and the other.
No, just do every other, as far as I see it. So you don't really want to sushi pipes together. Unless it's all going into one thing, then I guess it works. I mean, I think you can. I think the splitter will organize by item as well. I don't know. I haven't gone that far into it.
Because if it can do that, then this is basically Factorio. When it comes to building the factory.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I haven't gone that far into it. I'm not that advanced.
It's the same 3 resources at the start.
Yep.
Can't wait for the research to occur.
Oh yeah, there is research.
I was trying to stay away from that game. Bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba, ba, da, da, bum. Ah, that's why it's bad.
I need cables, not wire, but cable.
This guy is not working? Oh no, it is, okay.
What?
No, it's fine.
Yep, there goes power.
Why?
Out of fuel.
What did you do?
I did nothing. Why wouldn't it let me split?
Why
them?
do conveyor belts work without fuel?
Hold on, why is it not letting me right click to split?
Oh, right.
I don't
click
open the-
split. Oh, it is cool.
Right. No, for me it just opens the codecs. I
Keybind.
don't want. In my own game it works. What the fuck? Okay, can you take all the biomass there, split that? Oh, actually, no real need. Okay, never mind.
Dude, should I put it in the other one as well?
Actually, yeah, we only need one for the moment.
Well, I put it in both anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. What did I need? Ah, yes.
Oh, Hunt's playing Roblox.
Toilet paper on bed is
Nice.
I told you it's not it's kitchen paper. Just because I bought it from the shops, because, you know, there's just nowhere to put it.
Bruh.
Make rods, please. Oh, right, yeah, I forgot. We didn't give the,
My eye hurts.
no.
Owie.
We need, plates.
How is our XQC buddy doing?
Nah, sorted.
Is she still alive?
I need to stream my femboy drip once.
Yeah,
You know
for real, bro. He's speaking facts, man.
I will.
Neon White.
do that as, you know, if I get a, you know, I can make that a donation thing just for a bit of fun. Donation goal.
I'll stream in my cat dress.
Have that.
My naughty cat dress.
Oh god.
Of course I still
Fine,
have it. Why
I
would
didn't
I
even know
have?
you had it in the first place.
Yes, you did. I sent you a picture.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh right, yeah. This has no power.
Open an OnlyFans? No.
I'm going to sweat for points. No, it's not going to be points. It's going to be money.
Ah, donation goal. Smart.
Yeah,
Smart.
exactly. I'll make it a donation goal. If we reach, if someone donates, let's see,
I'm gonna do it
£50, because
differently.
now that the payout is £50, if someone donates £50, I will. The next stream will be guaranteed for me to wear femboy shit.
I would do downloads on my games. If I reach 50k
Yeah, but I'm not
downloads
making-
on my game, then I'll gladly.
I'm going to fucking donate every 50. Oh my god. Okay. I mean it. If you do, fair enough. Hold on.
Taking
how
your
do you
lodestone.
Oh yeah. Take my load.
Ew!
Hey, you're the one that said it.
I
me.
didn't say it. I said
Yes, you did.
lodestone. I said
Exactly.
stone.
Donate 50 so he can. Oh god. Hey, I mean, at that point I don't care because it's like 50 quid. And I would get that payout as well, so it would be worth it. Let's see. Yoink. Oh, what? No. Cool. You don't make concrete.
Yay, concrete. I'm almost done with it. You just got one of them scammers, like, go away. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you just got one of those as well, or what?
The viewer guys. Yeah, you want free views? Not free views. Pay for us. Hee hee. I wonder how
Oh.
many people actually fall for it.
Probably quite a lot.
Or if it works. I have no idea if it's a legit thing or not.
I mean, who knows? Oh,
Oh.
and we're out of power. Broken fuse. Okay, that could
Broken fuse?
be... Yeah, that could be anything from,
No
we just run
power?
out of fuel, or we're not producing enough power.
How can you have a problem with not making enough power?
By having too many machines running.
But why would that cause the whole network to blow?
Because we're consuming not enough we're producing only so much, and we're consuming more than we're producing.
Do the drills require
Right.
power?
The solar ones, the small mini ones, no. The biggie boys, yes.
The biggie boys, yes.
Like the big ones we placed down on the rig. The small ones that we held in our hands, no. But the giant ones that we've got now, yes.
Ah. Oh, my eyes like dying.
Oh, I just realized that this copper this copper ore was never up. The copper miner was never up. Oh, we ran out of fuel. That's what it is. All right, go collect leaves because we haven't got biofuel yet, which is fucking annoying.
Okay.
And once we made biofuel, then it basically you make it out of leaves and shit, and it lasts longer. And once we unlock the chainsaw, once we complete the tutorial, we'll be all good for power because we can just go around and completely demolish everything. I mean, yeah, no, obviously your femboy drip beats mine because you have more of it. I've got like basic shit. So yeah, no fucking wonder. But I mean, if you wanna like donate,
Y'all should have a femboy battle. A dress-up battle.
okay, why is right mouse
Okay, I got
I can agree with
600
that. Yes, if you
leaves.
say. Gameplay. No. What is it? That's key bindings. Yes.
By the
Light-
way, it only says open the codex if you do it while it's in the fuel thingy. If you
No,
do it
because I'm
while
just
it's in
doing
your
my
inventory, then it shouldn't be an
No,
issue.
in my inventory it's doing it as well. Oh, now it worked. Okay. I guess it was just bugged. I win easy. Yeah, you got more shit. So obviously you're gonna. Yoink. Yoink. What's I missing? Oh, just cable.
Oh, rods!
Yeah, I got one of them making rods, one of them making plates. I mean, that said, if you want to like donate money, and I can always buy more shit.
My
If you
guy
want it-
has been talking about getting a donation this entire time.
Well, I mean, they're the one that wants to give you one, so.
Oh, this is a big boy.
Yeah,
Ew,
why are
what
you
the
not?
fuck?
What do you mean no power?
That's
Oh.
weird. Long neck.
Oh.
You didn't connect it.
No, I connected the machines to each other rather than one of them to a hub.
Hmm.
There we go. Copper is now good to go. We are making copper ingots. I just need plates for conveyor belts. Where's the limestone? Oh, there it is. Yeah, if you don't pick up the limestone chunks, then it will automatically make the concrete blocks.
I know.
Cool. Just making sure. 500 FPS, Minecraft go boom. Oh, damn, fair enough. Let's put that there. Cool. Oh. You're probably not hearing those voices, are you?
Power.
Am I missing out plates?
Only have a little bit. Oh wait, did you turn off the power?
No.
Okay, then we're using
Oh,
too much
we've-
energy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fine. I mean, what we really need right now, we can cut off the iron stuff anyway. So let me just. Alright, now turn on the power.
No, I'm not there at the moment.
Done.
Coolio.
Since we don't really need, our main concern is currently copper. I can donate 45 thingies I got. Or I would donate the money to your GoFundMe so you can. Oh, I shut that down ages ago. But you know what? That would also. Actually, no, speaking of which, my boyfriend is coming here. I just remembered. Thanks for reminding me. Yeah, no, my boyfriend is coming to the UK and I'm looking forward to that.
Ooh, when?
End of February, start of March, like along that period.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey, nice.
Oh no. Base
What is that
building,
giving us?
logistics, or field research? Select the milestone.
Okay.
Whoa, what's falling?
Ooh, hey. Oh, it's a little shuttle.
You have unlocked building space elevator, building biomass burner, part biomass.
Space elevator?
Motivational message.
Wait, can I stand here and get
Congratulations, you
crushed?
succeeded in every provided task. On behalf of
Oh, sick, we can
Quartzi
build biomass
Incorporated,
now,
I
sick.
thank you
Oh,
for
what?
your
I didn't get crushed?
future service.
Nah.
Additional knowledge. The hub terminal has been converted to give access to milestones there to ensure you progress along Fixit-approved protocols. Note.
Will this thing
future
fly away?
developments should be aimed at
Yeah,
constructing a
once
space
we've completed a
elevator
milestone,
and
it'll fly
such
into space.
initiating project
Dang it.
assembly.
So I can't sit on
Uh,
it and then fly with it?
No.
Dang it. Okay, what do you want? Base building, logistics, or field research?
Let me have a look. Base building we really don't need. I say we go for logistics, because the conveyor splitter and merger is actually... Wait, no, hold up. Before
Too
you
bad.
do that, let me have... Oh, no, because we can just select a different milestone.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking...
Wait, are all the milestone costs the same? No, they're different.
No, they're different.
Oh,
I
we
think
can do
maybe
tier 2 milestones as well if we want.
Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe going for the chainsaw solid fuel, so that way we don't have to worry about fuel.
Where is that? Oh,
Because
there.
in obstacle clearing, because if we go for this one, then we do not have to, like, the solid fuel fuels the chainsaw, and the chainsaw you will use to chop down trees, and it will clear everything in the small area.
Mm.
So you get to behave again. Nice, yes, and I cannot wait. But yeah, so the chainsaw will be basically keeping us covered for fuel. Right. Which currently is our big issue. Power. Oh, I'm missing. Do you have one plate?
Yes.
Thank fuck. Because I was literally missing one plate to go from here to here. There we go.
I took all the wire.
Okay. That's fine. Okay, I need 2 of those again.
Oh, we can make biomass.
Yeah.
So how much
What-
better is biomass compared to...
Decent bit. What? Not getting power. Or is it and it's just full? Oh,
Oh.
it wasn't actually connected up for some reason. Oh, that's why. That's weird. There we go. That's the one. There we go. Concrete is now producing.
Me too.
Right, 35 in here. Alright, yeah, we stopped making.
It's not even that late and I'm so tired.
Bruh. When is he coming to you? Like I said, he's coming sort of end of... Ah, I need more plates. End of February, beginning of March, like on the 28th to the 6th, from what I understand. Something like that. So, yays.
Is the iron not working? The iron...
No, because I turned the power off because we weren't producing enough power.
Uh,
But now that we have the biomass burner, that's a different thing. So if you want to build one of those, we can power everything.
I knew how to.
Okay, press Q, go into power, and it's the biomass burner. You just need... Okay, hold on,
Ah, cool. Found it.
I'll make it real quick.
Yep.
No, I don't have the iron to make it. Never mind.
Wait, how much do you need? I have this and this
Where are you?
next to you.
Oh.
Only have that.
Okay, I need 15 of each. 15 rods, 15 plates.
Well, then
Uh,
you gotta go get it yourself.
That's what I'm doing. Why do I have... What can I... How do I have 100 copper? What the fuck?
You picked it up.
I do not remember picking it up.
Maybe when you picked up a machine, you had it in it.
Ah, damn it, I'm missing 3 iron ingots. Ah, maybe.
Well, the
I'm gonna
iron
put it into the
ingots are on
smelter
the
real
other
quick.
machine as well.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Hey, okay, well, the copper is not producing. Yeah, I'm gonna just put the copper ore in the mini personal chest for now, because I can't put it into the smelter, there's not enough space.
Hmm.
You should stream more often so you get more views. I know I should, it's just... Oh, a big part of it is just effort, really. It's having the motivation.
Han, you should play. I don't know.
Because it's different, it's difficult to find the motivation to do so. What was I gonna build? Oh yeah, biomass burner. Let's cluster all our power together just so it's easier. Cool.
So if I give this guy biomass fuel now,
You can give it leaves as well.
I just gave it 200 biomass.
There you go. And now if you look at the power levels, we are now producing enough again. Because we're consuming 48 and we have a capacity for 70.
Oh, max cons is consumption.
Yep. What's great is also we can switch between milestones and the amount that we've donated will stay.
On that milestone, or does it go to the next milestone?
No, on that milestone.
Okay.
And now we just have to wait until, unless you want to do stuff manually to get the screws and stuff, because screws take rods.
I'm picking up the rods.
Also in the chest here, there's 35.
Nice.
Average Twitch streamers. Just be more. Just be like some full-time streamer with a tower of G full RGB and stream. I am not playing Valorant.
Oh,
I have a
no,
hard time.
Don't stream Valorant.
I don't want to. I don't like streaming FPS games.
Overwatch.
Oh, maybe that might be the exception.
But you wouldn't stream
Okay.
it full time. You'd stream it every now and then.
Yeah, exactly. I could never become a full-time FPS streamer.
What about a chess streamer?
No, I'm not good enough at chess for that.
What's your elo?
Chess.
Yeah, what's your elo?
I don't have any.
Oh, okay. I don't have a chess elo either, but I beat an 800 bot, so I guess I'm like 400.
That's decent.
400 isn't really bad.
Logistics organization. I need rods and plates. Cool.
Okay, fine. I won't pick up the rods.
No, don't pick them off from the belt anyway.
Yeah.
It's my job.
What do you mean it's your job?
Because you've left them. You've left me no other choice. Okay.
I have to do the same every time.
Once we got the conveyor, next milestone will be logistics to get us the conveyor splitter and stuff.
Mm,
Because that will allow us to do good organization and stuff.
allow
Yes.
us to do good. Mm,
Yes.
yes.
Good organization.
Good. Yes.
No, because we can split off and I can start having some of the metal rods go towards nails, and also some of the copper wire going towards cables. Yes, English not easy. English good, yes. Oh my god, chess, I love chess. I beat Mittens with stockfish. I have no idea what the fuck that means, but it
You
sounds
beat
tasty.
Mittens with stockfish? That means you just use stockfish. That means stockfish beat Mittens, not you.
English bad, yes. Alright. I mean the factory's coming along nicely. Nice. Oh yeah, there's a ladder up here. Oh yeah, you can climb up ladders, by the way, if you didn't know that.
I did know that.
Okay. Hello.
I have more biomass.
Nice. Pop that in one of the 3 generators.
Just one of them?
Deutschland is better than German. One of the 3. It does. Well, I mean, split it evenly then, I guess.
Deutschland is better than German.
Thing is, we have no way of like piping power direct or piping fuel directly into the biomass burners, which is a pain in the ass.
I mean, Deutschland
So-
is something else than whatever the other one was.
Milestones. I am looking for when we eventually get better power, which we will get after completing the elevator, I can assume. I mean, the end game
Oh,
would be.
we almost
I mean,
ran
hopefully
out.
get caught.
We almost ran in underpower again.
Oh,
Yeah, one of
yikes.
the generators turned off, and it's just right, barely over the line for consumption.
Oof. I'm gonna make another 100 screws real quick.
Yeah, they are both full at 200 biomass.
Deutschland. Heftiger Staubsaugerverkäufer.
Yeah,
Or
that's
Staubsauger.
that's what you are, a heftiger Staubsaugerverkäufer.
I'm a heavy vacuum
You can
cleaner
clean a
salesperson.
Heavy vacuum cleaner, whatever. Vacuum
Salesperson. Salesman.
Salesman, person, thing. Yes.
Salesman person.
Nice.
Yoink.
Ah, my shoulder hurts.
There we go.
Hello.
Oh yeah, we need the
Yeah, speak.
research. Jesus Christ, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with my brain today.
You lagged there a little, buddy.
Yeah, we need the research thingy if we want to get be able to like mine stuff like quartz and whatnot, and you get useful shit. I don't know what you get out of it. Like you just get useful side things.
There's a game here. Wait, is this chess? Oh, damn it.
No, it's that game where you like fit the cubes into a square.
Oh, damn.
My
Can I
brain isn't braining
rotate?
to. Yeah, brain no braining.
Brainless.
Braining. Alright.
Oh, dang it. Send. Oh, shoot. This is a speed game. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know it was a speed game.
See, now there's iron over there. Redeposits.
Did we actually get something for beating this or something? Like for doing a good score?
Oh, no idea. Drink now. Alright, sure.
Glug glug, mother trucker.
Oh, I'm running low as well. Like, down to here. I'll need to fill up my squash bottle soon. Let's see. Okay, that's still something. Yoink.
Dang it. Oh, I got 800 points. 2 stars! Okay, I didn't know I was supposed to... Okay, I didn't know that was the mini game.
Yeah, that's just a random mini game you can do. Oh, I've already got 2. Or 1. Sure. I need 30 concrete. Coolio. Ah,
18.
not even close.
What do you mean not even close?
I needed 30 concrete. Well, I can make one. I need 30 because I'm going to set up 3 more iron mines just down where there's a patch of 3 together. But I'm
Okay.
missing 30. I need 30 concrete and I have 12. So I'm going to go mine some limestone real quick. Alongside the miner. Why does the other guy have a biker helmet on? Who? Oh, that's the character. That's what the character looks like. It's
Both
just a
have
suit
them.
helmet. Yeah.
What?
We both have the same character model.
I'm gonna kick myself in the knee.
Good job. How are you gonna do that?
Huh? What?
I was so close to beating a hell rush and immediately died.
If you want, we can set up a yeah. If you want, we can set up a mini like production line. Is just put leaves and wood into put leaves into a container. Conveyor belts will take the container of the leaves out and go into a constructor. At which point it will make the biomass for us. So we just need to pick it up.
Mm.
We can do that if you want. Oh. I need some more concrete.
There's one in here.
I need 12 more concrete.
I have 12.
Yeah.
Here.
Where's you? Thank you. I'll give back what I don't use. I'm about to suck up a fuck ton more power, so we're gonna need another power generator.
Is this copper?
No idea, I don't know what I'm saying. My rank
Bauxite.
is concrete. My ranking my ranking Overwatch is concrete for real, bro.
Is that higher than bronze or lower than bronze?
I don't know. Whee! Olé! Thank you. Oh, Rammies. No, it's because I'm banned from ranked L. Even though I was nearly out of gold. Bozo.
Bozo
Getting
got
banned.
banned.
Yeah, for real.
For real.
Imagine-
If you got
imagine
banned,
being
it must
so-
have been for a good reason.
Yeah, imagine being so bad at the game that you got banned from it.
Yeah, legit.
Power keyboard.
I went from bronze 5 to gold this season just because I felt like it. I now understand why people complain when they say they can't get out of bronze. I mean, bronze was easy as fuck, but silver was really annoying.
What do I need?
Alright, do you want to press launch pod so I can stand
Yeah,
on it? I
sure,
wanna
I don't
stand-
think anything's gonna happen, but yeah.
Alright, I'm on the pod.
I'm coming back up. There we go.
What are you watching?
What do you mean, what am I watching?
Someone's watching something.
Not me.
Something about a rabbit.
Last time we played, I carried your ass. Yeah, that's because I let you. Easy. Bruh,
Wow.
Alright.
Milestone
Go.
reached. Biofuel will ensure
Have fun.
Oh my god, I do fly!
gas burners.
Oh shit!
To aid in biofuel production, you are
Hey,
now
buddy.
removing
I need to see your stream what happens.
wood.
Goodbye.
Additionally, RNG
What?
inflated your pocket
Okay.
dimension.
I'm going up into space. Never mind, it just stops.
Yeah, I know.
Is it gonna despawn?
Yep,
Oh
I think
god.
so. No,
I'm
it'll
scared
stay
of
up there and then it'll come back down.
I'm scared of falling, my guy.
Nah, it comes back down.
I'm scared of falling in real life as well in video games. I was scared of heights. This looks really nice. But I don't want to fall. Just gonna sit here and drink some drinks.
You let me. Of course I let you. Otherwise you wouldn't have done it. Easy. Yeah. Oh hey, perfectly. There's 2 beds for us. Nice. Bunk beds. 1 for each. Yeah, you gotta wait there until the pod timer counts down fully.
Alright, you wanna watch me jump?
Well, let me select another milestone first. There we go. Yeah, go on.
Okay, where are you?
Don't even know where you're jumping. You're probably just jumping from up there.
I'm jumping towards our storage for iron.
Alright.
Whee!
Go.
I'm
I
jumping
see.
up to you! Can I land on your head? Oh, I can.
Oh my god.
I survived with 1 HP!
Oh my fucking god, wow.
Hey, can you hit me
Hey,
once?
what's great is...
Ah, never mind. I get healed. Hey, no, stop. I get healed.
Wait, no, come here.
No.
Come here, wait, come... I'm not gonna hit you.
Yeah, I heard you trying to hit me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Come here, I wanna do something.
Okay. You mean the bunk beds?
No, come
Where
here.
are you?
Stand still.
Yeah, you can jump on me.
Go forth, noble steed, because I stay on top of you.
Oh, shit.
Go!
I
Oh my
mean,
god, I
I
move
can-
when you turn around.
I
So
can...
you turning around makes me move very jitterily.
Ah!
Ow.
Ah!
Ow, that hits me as well. Ow, that hurts me.
Ah! No, I think they hit you. That's why it hurt.
No, your
Did
zapper
you
hit
die?
me.
Oh my god, okay. You got him?
No, I just jumped off.
Nice, good kill.
Yeah. Yeah, when you were zapping, it was hurting me.
Dude, the only reason why I survived that fall is because I landed on your head.
That's
I swear,
fucking
that was the
amazing.
one bit of fall damage that I got reducted.
Milestone exchange concluded.
That's-
Fix-it freighter re-entry complete.
Ah, it's back.
Yep. Phew. Now I just need a couple wires. First, I want to build a... I mean, yeah, you can build a chainsaw if you want. They're pretty cute. Oh god, no, leave that
What
alone,
is a
Jesus Christ.
space elevator for?
The next milestone. We send resources up, and we unlock shit. Just like with the milestone stuff.
Do we want to send the resources up?
Well, yeah, because it will unlock shit for us, so we kind of need to.
I mean, what do we get in return except for unlocks? Do we get resources back from headquarters?
No.
Where are we sending these resources to?
Good question.
Where's the lore?
I mean, you can look it up yourself, but
Oh, I'm so tired.
And we're out of power. Cool,
Well-
we need a,
Do I want to make solid biome fuel?
so that's just for the chainsaw.
Oh.
That's what the chainsaw needs for fuel. So yeah, if you want to make a chainsaw, then it's definitely a good idea. I mean, it's a good chainsaw, is a good idea to have.
Where can I
because
craft the in the
in the
here,
special
here.
workbench, yeah.
Oh, it costs a good amount.
If you're tired, go to sleep, as he says. Good point.
But if I go to sleep, then the world disappears. Wait, no, we didn't run out of fuel. You just added more than we can
Yeah, that's what I meant.
power.
We need more power.
Power!
We need another power gen.
Power generation.
I'll build it real quick.
Does it have to? I see a green line. What does the green line mean when you place it down or when you're
Alright,
placing it?
put some biofuel in there. I have no idea what the green line means. Oh, I don't have a concrete.
Ah,
You put fuel in there?
oh, it shut down again. What?
There we go. It's because it wasn't connected for a sec. There we go. It's fine now. I think we're generating just enough power. Oh no, we're generating
No,
plenty.
we're generating a good amount.
Cool.
Whoa, that's like green clouds over there. I'm gonna say hello to the green clouds. It's towards the west, by the way.
Alright.
Is this gonna poison me? Ah, it's poisoning me!
Oh yeah, the green mist poisons you.
Kind of assumed so, but I still wanted to check it out.
Yeah, you need some like hazmat suit or some shit for that.
What is this, rust?
Well, I mean, you get radiation suits because you will need them when you're dealing with nuclear reactors.
I would assume we already have radiation suits because we came to
Nope.
a planet.
No, it's just a normal environment suit. Inventory suit, but it's not proper like actual radiation suit.
What are you making?
Like I said, I've got the three iron things down here, down at the bottom. 3 iron mines, making just pure iron, and I'm gonna have them pelt pipe up here. There we go. And I'm gonna have one of them make nails.
Oh, where did you get all the rods from?
I had some in my inventory and some I picked up from the container. I'm just about to Parsival. Today in school we had cooking and none of our teacher class threw the pizza we made. Teacher uncalled her a whore because she told me what?
Huh?
We had cooking class, and one of the classmates threw pizza that they made at the teacher and called her a whore. Because she told one of the girls to shut up. That's amazing.
What the fuck?
Me and
How
my friend
disrespectful are
ended up needing
children.
to write the whole break because we...
How disrespectful are
a
children these days?
it's a German common school.
It's a German common school.
Yeah. German public school.
You mother trucker!
What?
I'm going back to space!
Yeah.
I bought it! Ah! Oh, how does this word look like? Oh, maybe one of the flying birds thingies gets close to me.
The productivity display will help
Nice.
you measure and improve the productivity of individual buildings to aid with optimization.
Is the world infinitely big?
No, there's edges to it.
Is the edges like cliffs that make you fall to your death, or is it a shield?
Yeah, it's a void.
Okay, so it's an island. Good to know. Okay, if I jump down now, I'm dead regardless because my health is only half.
So that's why you just
I'm gonna be stuck up here for 3 minutes.
yeah. What an interesting stream. Time for podcast with Quartzi.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna talk about the culture. Never mind. Yes. Willkommen alle zusammen zu dem neuen Podcast mit
German common schools are racist, homophobic, and everyone has one brain cell. There you go.
Gesundheit.
Bitteschön.
Heute reden wir über die deutschen, whatever a common school is, Hauptschule. Ja, die
There we
Hauptschulkids in der deutschen Region. God, my German's so bad.
Imagine.
I don't know.
Wie kann man sehr schlechte Deutsch haben? Das ist so
I'm
unglaublich,
just
wenn
really-
deine Mutter Deutsch ist.
I'm just good at accents, my man.
Fucking iron plates.
What else can I say in German that makes me seem like a German person? Bratwurst, sehr gut, ja. Sauerkraut,
Schnitz-
sehr gut, ja.
Schnitzel.
Oh, Schnitzel, Brezel, sehr gut, ja.
Bratkartoffel.
Oh, is it a Berliner or Pfannkuchen? Or
Berlin is a
Krapfen.
donut.
Or Krapfen. Yeah, Berliner Krapfen or Pfannkuchen. Which one is it, huh?
Berliner is a donut.
Or Krapfen.
Krapfen.
Sounds like he's from Bavaria.
He is.
I knew it. Yo, Friday. Not the Berliner. I thought you were German, Quartzi. I'm a lot of things. You still think I'm not 17 too. I don't know what you believe. I have a good one. You know, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Nope.
Es hora de comer.
Can you speak Spanish? No.
What time is it?
No. Oh yeah, me llamo.
¿Qué hora
¿Cómo
es?
estás?
No,
La
¿qué hora es? Is
biblioteca.
what time is it?
Oh,
You should have.
cool.
You didn't even get that right.
Oh hey, the robot's back.
Es hora de comer means it's time to eat.
Why? K. Porque es.
You're not 17. Dream on, buddy.
I can insult people in Spanish.
¿Qué hora es? What time is it?
Alright, we should probably do this one.
Wait, is the ship coming down now?
Yeah, it's down already. Just returned.
What? I'm still in space!
What?
I'm still.
Oh, it's probably. Normally it would despawn, but you're on top of it, so that's probably why. Alright,
My
jump on
health-
top of me again.
No, my health bar isn't full yet.
Oh, it probably won't. Just jump and
No,
you'll respawn
no.
in the bed.
No, it's fine. I'll stay up here for a bit.
Okay.
You can insult people on Spanish? How does one insult someone on Spanish?
I think he's not coming back. By sitting on top of a Spanish person and farting. That'd be pretty insulting.
Damn, that's on Spanish. Oh god.
I mean, if you sat on a Spanish person and farted on him, you'd be both on him and insulting him.
Crop dusted.
Oh god. I hate how that has a name.
I wonder if I can kill this plane or something like that. Die, mother fricker. We have a lat. Okay, from Spain in our class. She's a okay. How good is her German? I mean, doesn't that make the perfect Spanish teacher? Like, as long as you learn Spanish, it's all good, right?
I need him.
I can speak Hochdeutsch.
Yeah, you usually learn that shit in class.
That's not a skill. That's
And
a
then
curse.
I remember there being like a whole debate on the radio at one point about like if students should learn Hochdeutsch. Oh my god, I can make just enough nails to finish this field research. I'm not going to though. Because I have other shit I'm planning. Do we have the assembly yet? No, we do not. That's fine. We will get that shortly.
See, if people learn how to speak with the words Digga and all that stuff, I believe they should be forced to learn Hochdeutsch as well.
Oh, Digga, was machst du? You like that?
Und Bayerisch kann ich ja. Bayerisch isn't a freaking language, dumbass.
It's the dialect.
Yeah.
No, but you still speak it in a way.
I wonder if he understands Austrian. That's a good. That's a proper skill.
Österreich. It is. No.
I'm jumping. I'm jumping. I'm jumping.
No, don't jump.
Please.
At
The
least
plane
throw a
didn't
flip
even.
if you're gonna jump.
Oh, where's the plane? Is it still flying away or something? It sounds closer. Yo, is that Saturn?
No, because we're not in the normal solar system.
That sucks. Oh, this is the stuff that's making noise. I thought it was a ship. Ah. I can understand Austrian. Austrian is not a language. It's a dialect again.
No, Austrian is a language.
I don't believe so.
Why are you not? So.
Like
What?
the wow. Like the Austrian
you-
painter. Okay. Summer. Bruh. That's a name right there. I don't know what you want to do with a name. Out of nowhere. You know, I hate the German language. And the only reason why I hate the German language is because we still haven't determined the gender of Nutella.
Wait, what?
French has determined the gender of Nutella. Why can't Germany?
Bruh.
German is better than English. No, because in English we have the, and in German we have der, die, das. Das ist die Nutella. Was ist mit dir los? Ja, gib mir mal die Nutella. Simple. Oder der Nutella habe ich gar nichts getan.
Ist das Nutella, die Nutella, der Nutella.
I have brain damage. You sound like a German person. The first thing you do when you try to defend yourself is curse.
Oh, right, yeah, the shit needs power. That one's full, that one's full.
I fell too far
Fuck.
from space. That is true. I am a celestial.
Uh-huh. I need fucking copper wires. Do you have copper wires?
No.
Fuck.
You know what's funny?
What?
I have not been playing this game this entire time, but you have been having such a good time.
Well, I wouldn't say good time. I've just been setting up a factory.
Yeah, I've been on that space thingy more than I've been doing anything, it seems.
Yeah, you've just been fucking around. I've been like building a.
Germany has better
somewhat-
food than most countries. That is true.
Yeah, I can fuck behind that.
But I do like myself some good ramen. And not that package ramen that you buy for 90 cents or 20 cents. No, I'm talking about some good shit ramen.
Right. We need more iron production.
More? Can we have more
I
than
think-
one drill on a iron?
No, I mean like we need to produce more iron plates.
No, but I'm asking.
No. But you can
Yeah.
upgrade because this is the minor Mark 1, so it's slow. But you can upgrade it. Hmm.
I'm so happy I don't have German friends.
Bruh. That
have-
sounds racist.
I have an Austrian friend, and I'm very proud of having her as a friend. But
Missing.
German people are so toxic.
A gute Weißwurst is besser. Racism. Yeah,
A
for
gute
real.
Weißwurst, yeah, find a good one. Where do you go, Bonneberger, to get your Weißwurst? Huh? Is that where you go? You go to Bonneberger? You go to Vincentsmoor? Is that where you get your Weißwurst?
Okay, I'm just gonna yoink dismantle that. Dismantle that. Okay, cool. So we're gonna have constructor.
Oh, you used too much. No, wait, no, we ran out of
we
power.
ran out of fuel.
Yeah, you can. I can see. There's a sign that tells you.
Yeah. I have 100 leaves.
I also only had 100.
Alright.
I'm gonna go get more.
Which one's empty?
Wow, Seeking Ghosts suddenly became silent after I talked about
That was
Vincent's
fun.
more Bunneberg.
I think he said bro XD.
Austrian people
Hold
and
on.
German people from Wish, literally? What do you mean?
That's funny.
I mean, an Austrian person ruled over Germany for quite some time, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, that was it.
Not even German, bro.
Oh yeah, that's what I needed cables. Yeah.
You're playing Minecraft? Oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. Do you play modded Minecraft or regular Minecraft? And what version?
Let's see.
Okay, I got 1,000 leaves. Modded. What
Sick.
mods are you using? Have
Merge
you
it. No, I don't wanna
played?
merge it.
Have you played the
This one.
Millionaire mod?
I fucking.
Was it called Millionaire? I think so. I think we ran out of power.
Yeah.
You did. Yep.
Uh.
I only play on the Xbox 360 edition exclusively. Oh. Very good dragon mod. Have you played, what is it, RL Craft?
Oh, I hate RL craft.
Why?
That's just pain.
Why is it pain?
Because it is. I played it. It's so not easy.
Well, once you get Flint, it's basically regular Minecraft. You just don't have to get murdered by a siren or a dragon
Right.
coming out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's pretty easy. Okay, I have almost 800 biomass. I'm gonna put everything to 200. And then we should have fuel for a bit. There we go.
If you
Oh,
want, I
that
can
one,
pipe-
that one was about to run out as well. There you go. All of them have 200 biomass. They should all run out
There we
at the
go.
same time, if at all.
Nice. Nice.
Nice. Uh-huh. Interesting.
What?
You should play War Thunder, sell your soul to the snail. The snail? Why the snail?
Because that's Gaijin's symbol.
I don't
It's a
know what that
snail.
is.
The creators of War Thunder. It's called Gaijin, and they have a snail for their icon.
I don't know anything about War Thunder except I think that's the community that will find
Yeah,
military
that-
files.
that's those people. Yeah.
Yeah, that will go seek out files just to make sure the tanks are accurate.
Yep.
Ah, dude, I love that community.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
I wish people did that for my games.
Just get a better crew, easy.
Wow. So you don't want to be part of the crew? Got it.
I never said that.
Cho
We need accurate
kawaii.
F-16s, exactly.
Natsubitai. Dai kogai.
I mean, you're welcome to help out if you want. What are you making? Ah, I'm making that. Oh, wait, no, I don't need you here.
Whoa, what are you building there?
I'm gonna sort us out some more plates and screws.
What's this? Oh, is this just a
Well, what's
crafting thing?
Yeah, these are just assemblers.
Oh, it just looks weird because it's floating. That's why.
Yep.
Wait, that's exactly what I didn't want happening. Why is it floating?
Because
It's on the conveyor belt.
Aw.
I wish these
shame.
plates. I wish these plates got stuck right here for realism. I wonder if they do.
Nope.
Of course not. Oh my god.
There's a method to my madness, don't worry. And that method is just whatever the fuck.
And that method is live with it.
Okay, yeah, pretty much.
Rude.
Oh, we need hold on. This can't make reinforced plates, can it?
Do we have the
No.
ability to make reinforced plates?
Oh, yeah, we do. We just don't have the machine required for them.
So we have to craft the machine.
I'm trying my best not to clip for your sake,
Thank you.
but at the same time, it is hard.
It's fine. As long as it doesn't clip hard. Yeah, see, this is fine. That doesn't really matter much. Come on, I need 40 more screws, and then that's done with the field research thingy.
I mean, you can also make the screws yourself.
I mean, that would require me making the screws myself.
Exactly.
Oh, this is weird. So is this
That's
just
about-
that they go across each other?
No, those are mergers, so they merge eventually onto the same thing.
Ah. Oh, so
Yeah, I
we're
need
making
them
more
on-
screws.
More screws and more
Pipes.
plates.
Oh, plates.
Yeah, because originally they will go to
Hmm?
go into making those reinforced plates, but of course we can't do that because we don't have an assembler. Which once we completed this should be our next goal.
Wait, we don't have an assembler?
No, I'll do the last of the plates.
Seems
have a
like
fuck ton
a
of iron as well.
boring game. Yes. So the point of this game is to get basically to create your own factory and just unlock everything.
Yes, ma'am.
So I guess this is a completionist game.
To ensure a greater chance of success during exploration, an upgraded tool belt has been provided, as well as an object scanner. and
Upgraded
beacons.
tool belt.
Note:
Yep.
the object scanner requires calibration via the MAM to enable detection of specific objects.
Via the ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, me. That's a
The
joke
map
just a
has been
second ago.
unlocked.
Okay, I need cables, screws, rods, and.
Did the
reinforced
ship
plates.
return for you, by the way? Because mine's still not back.
Oh, it's gonna take another 2 minutes.
No, I mean, it wasn't here in the first place. Yeah, Parsi, you should try Monster Hunter. Didn't you play Monster Hunter World?
I've got it. I just haven't played it yet.
It's not bad. It's not bad. You might like it.
Yeah. Give it a go.
Depends if it's your type of game.
I have no idea yet.
Boss battler, basically.
No, I know. I've seen the game. I just haven't played it.
I was just saying. This merger isn't working very well, by the way.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
No, maybe you implemented it wrong.
It's fine.
Okay.
Would you like a chainsaw as well?
No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm fine for now.
Because then you can go around and cut down all the trees. Anyone played the new Spider-Man? Anyone played the Spider-Man games? I have them on my wish list. I do not own them though.
I am
So
poor.
that would be a no. Exactly.
And I play RPGs.
No, that's the thing. I'd love to play the new the Spider-Man games. Both of them. They look really fun, but I just don't have money.
Do they have multiplayer?
So my boyfriend just. I don't know. My boyfriend also just got me New Horizons. So. New Horizon Zero Dawn. That's the one.
Is
so
that the
once that-
one with the robot
that's-
mobs?
With the robot dinos, yeah.
Yay.
So, and the thing is back.
Yay!
I would like to play that at some point. Okay, cool.
Part assembly.
Yeah, this will give us the assembler. Yeah, I'd like to play that game at one point, Horizon, but first I still need to complete Red Dead because I'm partway through that. I've just started chapter 3. Hey, you want to have a task to do? It's not going to be fun, but it's a task.
I have to.
I mean, do you want to do something?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
What's my task?
I was gonna say, there's pure iron ingots in the little personal chest. If you want to just make the screws and the parts and all that shit.
Oh,
Yes, boy.
yeah, sure. So you want me to basically handcraft the screws?
Pretty much.
You know, can you fix this somehow?
Fix what?
The annoyance of these things not merging. The screw belt.
Oh, it's weird.
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to tell you, that this is not working. Let me
I
guess, you
need-
need more plates.
Literally one. There we go. Okay.
Now we have to wait a while till it merges anyway.
Yeah, well, the game has decided it's going to. I'm gonna build the space elevator as well.
What the
Work on building
fuck
that.
is going on here?
I don't know.
It's going the wrong way.
What the fuck?
This does not seem correct.
Oh, it's just because there's so many items. That's why. It's fine. Don't
Oh.
worry about it.
Oh
See?
gosh, they're going inside of themselves. Okay, I'll make it less items by taking a couple. And then it can fix itself. There we go.
I hope there's a way to turn off the fucking voice that. Puzzle question: did you ever get rejected? Yeah, of course I've been rejected before.
Rejected in what way?
I assume by girls,
Oh,
by women, by females.
I haven't. Because I don't.
Confess.
Because I don't ask.
Fair enough. Dang. Yeah, fair enough. I've only been rejected once though, because yeah, no, I typically don't ask as well.
It's the day and age where, you know, either party can ask.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, if they ask, it's probably more genuine as well. As if they just said yes.
Yeah, exactly. Hello. And now we just reject him instead of being rejected. I've never been rejected because
Bruh.
I'm mostly not the one asking. I mean, fair enough. Bozo, imagine not asking. Oh yeah, no, I think the time with my current boyfriend was Tyne. He was the one that ended up making the first move. Though he never really asked me out. It was very like it was clear we had feelings for each other, and he's just the first one to say it. And I was like, oh yeah, so do I. It's like, oh, does this mean we're together now? I was like, yep, okay. I guess we're dating. How are you getting on with the construction? with all the iron that I told you was there. Have you been? You've just been bouncing around, haven't you?
Huh? No, I'm listening to a voice message right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we almost
I
got
thought you wouldn't.
downstairs.
Oh, I thought you'd been doing the crafting like I asked.
Well, first of all, we have plenty of screws. I don't have to handcraft shit.
No, I mean when we didn't.
We still have plenty of screws.
Yeah, I guess. I need to get some iron plates back. Yeah, but fuck it. I guess I'll start doing it. So we still need to make the space elevator, which takes a fuck a ton.
There you go. Now we just need the wires.
And time to get crafting. Now we have to create just enough iron plates. So, welcome to Dinging Simulator. How are we all doing? I'll take this time to, I would say to read chat, but we don't need to. What's this guest star thing do? Yeah, how are we doing, chat? How's everyone? Open guest star. Yes. That seems complicated. We'll set that up for next time, Virgil. The whole guest star system. Ding 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 ding. Well, this is fucking engaging, isn't it? Virgil's got his VTuber frozen looking like some fucking aristocratic mage.
Shut the fuck up, kid. I was listening to
Oh,
a
you
voice
can't-
message.
No, but your VTuber looks like a fucking aristocratic mage from a D&D game.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Hey, I made exactly 250. Oh, I need to make some iron rods. I need 400 iron rods. Fuck me, okay. 1,500 copper. Parsi, do you eat much or less? I don't eat that much, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not much of an eater. And that, I just don't really take care of myself that well. Oh, right, yeah. I mean, I can eat a lot, I just typically don't.
Hmm.
I don't eat as much as I need because I want to build muscle, but I can eat that much overall though. Yeah, pretty much the same here. Oh, I'm missing 2 fucking cables. Well, thankfully, I'm right next to the copper. Yeah, that. I was missing the 2 cable I needed to build a splitter. Oh, I got stuck. Damn it. That's what I say. Thank you. Yeah. Right next to where I need to be anyway. Bizarre. Copper cable. Oh, we've either run out of power or I'm using too much.
Easy to see.
Well, I'm afraid of eating too much and getting fat, and I don't want to lose my body. No, that's fair.
We ran too much power.
Yeah.
Wait.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. We still have a bunch of biomass.
Alright, time to build another power generator. You want to go ahead and do the honors?
Of turning it on?
Great. Monster Hunter World. Great
I'll
game.
turn it on.
Not gonna lie, I
No!
wasn't a big fan. Does everything have fuel?
Yeah, everything is fuel checked.
Then we need another generator.
Grr.
Yeah, we need another generator. Alright, I'll pop one up real quick. I'm trying to save my resources for the space elevator, but fuck it.
I mean, do you need a wire for the space elevator?
Wire itself, no, but I need... well, no, yeah, I need wires, rods, plates, and concrete. That's what I need. Okay, there's a new thingy here if you want to put fuel into it. Dead Space 1 to 3 in the remake. That's a shout. I'll have a look. Yeah, Dead Space is supposed to be pretty good. Okay, I've got enough plates. I just need concrete. I need fucking 500. I need 90 more concrete. Jesus Christ. 1,500 copper wires, which should be easy enough to come by now, because I should be making more than a fuck ton. There we go. And just cables for a milestone. Parsival should play horror games. I mean, I already did Outlast at one point. That's up on my YouTube channel, and never again. Never again.
Outlast.
Yeah, the second one. Hated it. Is my stream frozen? Do I just need to refresh it or something? My stream being frozen the whole time?
No, your stream's fine.
Oh, okay, then it was just my screen that was frozen.
Well, there is an ad playing right now for me. But I
Oh.
can see it running, so it's fine.
Otherwise, no fan.
Oh, guys. Hey, there's a cool trick when it comes to these things. You can mute this audio, but you can take this out and unmute it. And you continue watching the stream while having ads. Oh my god, Opera GX coming in clutch.
I mean, I've just got a browser extension that gets rid of Twitch ads.
Sucks for the Twitch devs because I can just leave the ads running and still watch the stream at the same time.
Yeah,
and it's not even it's
Imagine
It's
having
a
ads
feature,
just
it's
sub.
not even like a
Exactly. See, no, this guy's got it right. You
add
should
on or
just sub
anything.
Quartzi.
Big
Just
bucks.
sub? Hell no, I'm poor.
Yeah. I mean, if you got Amazon Prime, then you can.
Oh
Wanna press the
damn, we
button?
can do it already.
Yeah, no, I've been working on getting us all the shit for this. You wanna press the button? You can.
I can press the button. I want to go back on the ship. Now that the
Can
ship is back.
Speaking of subscriptions, thank you, Callum, for the fucking subscription. Jesus Christ. Ah, he's got
Oh.
a Prime, so.
No talking about it.
What have you just done? You have subscribed for free, and I need to change my notification noises because my Twitch highlights can't ever get money anytime someone follows or anytime someone subscribes. I can't get money from the Twitch highlights if I was ever to get to that point. Since I don't have 1,000 subscribers on YouTube for my Twitch archives, it makes no difference to me.
He doesn't even stream that much. Did you sub to him? What the fuck? Just kidding.
Hold on, holding the phone.
I'm holding.
Hold.
To avoid the ad, I can edit the sound out if you want when I edit them down. No, that's fair.
Where
Well, no,
is
it's
your...
just because I have a. Hold on, I'll just mute up.
I'm coming in with the ad sub to Quartzi. Wow, great.
Wow, I got an advert.
Nice. We love ads. We love ads that are more than 2 ads. It's like 3 or 7
but
ads.
it's a Netflix ad for a show that I'm not gonna watch.
Quartzi bad? Hey, I don't ask for money. At least not like Parsi does.
I don't know what you mean.
You know what you should do? You know what you should do?
Yeah, so, no, okay, what was it? Yeah,
You should-
so on...
At least I don't have toilet paper on my
I
bed.
have a second channel where I upload the full streams, and that's what I was on about. Those streams can't, get claimed, copyright claimed, whenever someone follows or subscribes, because of the Star Wars music.
Hey.
Wait, really?
Yeah, because it's
might
longer than
wanna-
5 seconds.
You might want to change
But
that,
at the
buddy.
same... No, I know, but at the same time, it makes no difference to me because I do not have 1,000 subscribers on the stream archive or either of my channels, so it makes no difference to me. Because it doesn't restrict where you can watch, it just means I wouldn't get any money from them.
Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
I did the follow.
Sounds like a skill issue, for real.
Nice.
Yeah, I just need to get I need to get proper notifications and stuff, but I don't have them, so oh well. I mean, I don't, because I don't want to make them just a default bell noise, because that's just, boring.
I have an idea for what noise I could use for stuff.
Junkrat's a laugh.
Maybe.
God.
Was that actually it?
No.
Okay. Quartzi
Well, I
gets
had-
no tall men, luckily.
Yeah, of course he's straight.
I had an
Nice.
idea to use some like Portal
Cringe.
sounds, you know, like Portal 2 and
Yeah.
Portal 1, you know, like just noises from the game.
Not like Gladys or Wheatley.
Oh, come on, I just fucking threaded that needle. If that's not a highlight, I don't know what is.
He gets midgets. Nice.
Hey, fucking Callum, that better go on the highlight there. I just threaded the needle. I better get fucking skill points for that. 100 points bonus. I don't fucking know. I better get something.
Gets no
I'm-
females too. That's straight up the truth. Prayer on God.
Haha, I live alone because all I need is myself. It's just
That
me,
is-
myself, and I. Hey, there we go. We got the assemblers.
That is pretty epic. I am proud
No
of you.
bitches.
Self-love.
Logistic. Exactly.
Self-love.
Love thyself.
Exactly. Oh shoot,
Man,
I
they
need
say-
to make biomass.
Okay, you're full. You're full. You're full. To anyone that isn't full. You. Oh, well, thank you for the follow.
We are running out of biomass,
I wanted... Oh yeah, rods, that was it.
sir.
We're running out of biomass. Well, I've got a chainsaw if you want to go chop trees down.
Vroom vroom.
Merger. Cool. Sup? Hey, what's up? How's it going, Armin? I hope you like the monstrosity that is this factory. Trust
I
me.
am wick.
I did a much better job of making a horrendous looking factory in my personal world. That said, I could do better here.
Drop your chainsaw, buddy.
Oh shit, yeah. There you go.
Thank
It's
you.
easy to make.
Do you have any biofuel on
No.
you? No?
I have 15 leaves.
How do I feed it biofuel?
You just need to have it in your inventory.
Okay. Is this
The
a
solid
tree?
bio. You need solid biofuel, yeah. And as you see, cut down the tree and the leaves in the surrounding area. In the bottom left, it will tell you what you get. This factory looks pretty slow. Hey, I never said it was efficient. I just said it looked horrible. I mean, the title is literally making a horrible factory.
Back in
because
peak
that's-
Twitch chat? Hell yeah, hon.
Yeah. When you reckon this stream can be available to edit? I want to do this one, two, rest from Star Wars. I mean,
Hydrate, boy. Go.
oh, fuck's sake.
Drink.
Do it. Go.
Yeah, give me a sec.
No second given. Immediately go. Ah! I'm being 1v1'd. Oh, never mind. He died.
I mean, we still got basic tier shit, so yeah, it's gonna be slow. Although, I feel like mine was still fast in my solo world, and I don't know why.
What do you use fire petals for?
Paint, I think. I don't know, actually. I can't say I have a reason. You should probably sleep since it's 12 for me. Oh, it's only 10 o'clock.
It's 12 for this
It's
kid?
not-
He's lying.
How
It's
is it 12?
23.
Yeah,
Dumbass, you're
11, not
German.
12. Yeah, fucking learn to read the time.
Dumbass, we used to live in the same country. I love how we both just
Very
attacked him
more
because of
concrete.
time.
I am
Yeah,
curious.
imagine not being a temporal understander.
How many people are streaming TF2 right now?
Ooh, I say at
There we
least
go.
14 people. Wait, no, this is US time.
Alright, give me
Probably
your
more,
rods.
like 40.
Fuck, I need more rods.
I'm going from high to
I'm
low.
producing enough rods.
The highest
There we
person
go. I'm
streaming
producing
TF2
a
has
lot more
43
rods now.
people.
Good.
Damn, that's pretty high.
And then it
Ooh,
goes from
now I just need
the next
copper
person has
wire.
38, the next person has 24, the next person has 18.
My
Oh,
phone
they have
fuck is
so
wrong again, but-
many
Oh.
people.
I just fucking threaded the needle again. Fuck yeah,
It-
I'm too good at
It's
sliding.
going down forever slowly,
Sliding in your
though, and
mum's
then
puss.
it's now. And then most of the viewers
So-
for like most streams are at like 5 or 4.
Steal
So they
that,
have stable viewership.
steal that.
The lowest is just
Ah,
one
It's
viewer.
fine. I almost got it.
okay.
One of
But
them
how
just
would
ran
you-
out.
How would you stream TF2 while being safe? Because you know what TF2 is like, and you can just encounter someone that could be.
Oh, you got
either-
power back on.
Well, you don't have voice chat on, and you can just hide chat.
How do you hide? Well, what if I get like killed by someone and they have like just
There we go. It's 23:11.
Because
Yeah,
you
that's the
can
correct
put-
time.
you can put name tags on. You can put name tags and descriptions on anything. You can if they have they have the
Yeah,
sign.
and we do an
You can put any image on, and I mean any image. There's no limit.
I don't know. People just stream it, and then they just play on the public servers.
I mean, I know there's community servers, which is probably where they're coming from.
You know what? There's copper in the
Yeah,
personal chest.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
gonna-
it's in normal servers.
Alright, let's get personal smelting.
Well, I might
Oh,
try
copper sheets. What
stream
the fuck are those
TF2
used
then
for?
tomorrow.
What's personal smelting?
Posture check. My posture is fine. Oh, personal smelt, like just going to the craft bench and smelting it myself.
Oh, I thought it was a thingy.
That's the nickname I'm giving it because I'm smelting it personally. Honestly, the music in this game's pretty chill. I like it.
See, when I'm playing Pyro, if I want to take care of a heavy, all I gotta do, light him on fire for a little bit, switch to my flare gun, shoot him once, that does about roughly 150 damage. Alright? If I can, like, keep my fire, like, if I hit all of my fire on him,
How many
I-
times do you guys shower? Like once a day, every morning.
I'm not
Hold up,
answering
there's-
that question.
Hold on, there's you need water. Yeah, I
Yeah,
just drank
drink.
again. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, he
I
did.
just did.
Yeah, he
There's
just
6
did.
people, so there you go. Fucking-
Bless you.
if it's not every day, there you go. 60-second ad time. Woo! Let's get that revenue. You're doing something very wrong. I have no idea who can't see the ad, but you're seeing the ad now if you haven't subscribed, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
So thank
It's
you.
the ad is Uno.
Oh yeah, what ad are you seeing? Oh, you're seeing Uno? Fucking Uno.
Not Uno the
Alright.
game. It's like UNICEF kind of stuff. Some German
couldn't be
UNICEF
me.
thing, I think.
Yeah, I've got like 3 subscribers right now. Great. Especially because the money limit's now been capped down to 50, so it's actually making streaming a decently bit more viable. Because you don't need to go to £100 anymore, which takes for fucking ever. You just need 50, which
Wait,
then
really?
again, yeah, they brought down the cap to £50 rather than 100.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more viable. That's
That's 10
I'm a
subs.
fucking moron.
Well, no, that's not.
Yeah.
That's still 20 subs. but, oh my god.
It still took me like a couple years to get to 50 quid, and I just
Wait,
made a
really?
fuck ton of copper sheets. Yeah. I mean, I just made a fuck ton of copper sheets by accident because I'm a dumbass. God fucking damn it.
Do you just press spacebar and sit there?
Yeah, pretty much, and I didn't realize I'm making copper sheets instead of copper wires, which is what I need. Oh, there we go, all good. Alright, where do you want the space elevator?
Somewhere
You
the least elevated spot.
In the valley?
Yeah. To make it more fun. Oh my god, it's huge.
Yep. You
Yeah,
want
in
it
the
to-
valley. Then it seems cooler
Hold
if
on.
it's in the valley.
I want to place on top of the tree so it's floating.
Of course
we
you
go.
want to make it float. Oh my god, you make me
It's not floating because it's on struts.
you make me unhappy.
I also have no idea what the console for this thing is. Oh my god, that's...
You make me unhappy.
If you want to get rid of the
Okay.
trees, I'll disintegrate it and I'll deconstruct it and put it back down.
No, it's fine. You can leave it as it is.
Okay, you get 50 because I subbed for 10 months. Oh yeah, well no, I also had a lot of money before. I also had money pulling up before you started subbing. No, I need to deconstruct this, holy fuck. because I
Also,
had-
Twitch takes 50%.
Yeah, Virgil.
So you need double. So you need
Come
20
to
subs.
me.
Where are you?
I'm on the space elevator, or next to it. You can see me, right? I thought you could see my ping.
Yeah, but your ping is like... Are you falling?
No, I'm on the ground. But I need to like redo the space elevator or we won't be able to use it properly.
No, I'm on it.
No, where the console is.
Where's the console?
It's on the north side.
Okay. Oh my god, this is a weird collider.
Here, look.
I can use it. No, you can use
No,
the
I
console
know.
anywhere. You can click
No,
on
I
it in
know.
the middle.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, just click in here.
Oh. Shit.
Oh
Well,
my
we
god.
need to make these,
You don't-
um,
Gosh, you would make a horrible game designer.
why?
Every game designer would have known that that shouldn't only be accessible through the console.
That thing looks like a huge crab. Oh yeah, you missed the animation of the.
It's
the
a
arm
fucking
connecting.
spider!
Did you miss the animation of the arm connecting to the elevator?
Yes, I did. Oh my god, it's so
Alright.
ugly.
Yeah, I hate them. Mycelium's good though, because we can research and apparently get health benefits. I'm sorry, I'm deconstructing this. I hate it.
Oh wait, they're insta kills. Okay, never mind. I'll go down there again. I'm going back into the cave. They die instantly. Easy clap.
Yeah, come outside. Real quick.
No. I'm in this
No,
cave.
watch
I'm
the
murdering.
arm. No, watch the arm connect.
Okay, fine. Give me.
I'm gonna watch it because
10
it's something for the
seconds.
video.
Oh wait, no, I'm watching it through your stream. It's fine. Oh, what is it doing?
The tether is coming down.
Is this how we would make space elevators as well in real life?
Oh, in theory, yeah. That's what a space elevator is. It's just a tether attached to an anchor. Yeah, and now it's tethered.
Wait, it was tethered before already.
No, like it's now hooked on, tethered, and this thing's come down. There you go.
Oh, it's on the floor. Oh, you replaced it. That's
Yeah,
nah.
I replaced it, and also for the animation for YouTube. Parsival, did you know that you get paid 50 euros for 9 hours of work in Germany if you do Zeitungsaustragen? What?
Did you know you can get you get paid $15 an hour at the post office, and you also
I'm
can
getting
get
10 quid.
Nachtzuschlag
Yeah, I'm
if you
also getting
work
10
before
quid an
6
hour in my
a.m.
current shop, so. Okay, cool. Now these.
Also, 9 hours of work for $50. That's like lower than Mindestlohn.
Ooh, nope, don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
Yep, it is exactly. Wait, I can load, seal, and send. Why are we only supposed to send them computer chips?
Because that's phase one. Because you can work with 13 or 12. Right, yeah. So.
Why does the main ship that we're sending this to need computer chips if they literally just gave us
Because
a
we're
elevator?
selling. I don't know. Because we're selling the shit off. Like the whole point, the whole lore of this thing is like you're producing resources to send off back to Earth to ship off.
Oh, so we're a mining company.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Or not a company. We just you fix it as a mining company or industrial company. I need
This is
two
one
more. Jesus Christ.
big of a space elevator, and I'm happy we put it in that freaking bottom ridge instead of anywhere up here. Yeah, Parsi, since when are you out of school?
What do you mean, since when am I out of school?
Yeah, he's not out of school yet. He's still in school.
Oh, no, okay, so I'm in uni. I finished school itself. I finished years ago, like back in 2020.
He's in uni, which means he's still in school. He's still in school.
Kind of.
Uni and school is the same thing. You're being
Yeah,
taught
pretty much.
shit at different levels. It's still school.
Screws and rotors. Screws and rods is what I mean. Rods. Screws. We have a fuck ton of them. Hey, let's make a bunch of But uni isn't every day now. I finished school back in 2020. Like school, high school as you might call it. I finished back in 2020. Sembala. Yeah, we want reinforced
Hey, I got reinforced iron plates.
Nice.
I found a wreck. Ooh, I got 21 motors. I got like 300. I got 500 wire.
I need another reinforced. Alright, give me here. Oh, I'm missing the fucking concrete. Of course I am. Oh, jeez. Command USA, okay, what? Oh, common use, whatever, sure. I like it how Americans need to pay money for education. Oh, yeah, no, true. I mean, their whole economy is horrendous over there as well.
I mean,
like,
my guy, there's also something called a private school. Okay, not everybody has to go to a public school.
Yeah.
In Germany.
Yeah, no, working in the food industry is hell in...
Food industry? Film industry?
Yeah, no, food industry in America is hell.
Why? Is Gordon Ramsay gonna come and scream at you?
No, because the people, like servers that work there, the
Oh yeah, they don't get
waitresses, they get paid like $2 an hour, and most of their money comes from tips. Like the tipping culture there is ridiculously shite. Production assembler. I need yes. I'll take that.
I got a power slug.
Bro, food. School food is like prison food. Yeah.
I've seen better prison food.
Just their uni they have to pay for. Their uni being college. I mean, they both have uni and college as well. Like, the difference is negligible.
Ba ba da ba ba ba. Ich bin ein Gummibär. Ein Gummi, 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 Gummibär. Oh yeah.
Get myself more in frame. I need a better camera, truth be told, as well, because it's like a little mini square thing. The quality is like negligible. Samba. You need those things and those things. So I'm gonna put a splitter here. And where is
Why go to a private school when I get the same education at a normal school? The thing is, you don't. At least depends what private school you go to. If you go to a shitty private school, then of course you're gonna have the same shitty education that you get from a public school. If you go to a good private school, you're basically gonna be at third year, second year college level by the time you leave school. Which is definitely not what you're at in a public school. Holy shit. You're not even at level 1 college, like college level 1 when you leave public school most of the time. At least not in German schools.
logistics splitter?
The German, actually any education system is still failing people. Not teaching them how to do taxes, using credit card, you know, even apply for credit and stuff like that. They don't teach you that shit.
Yeah, most of the life skills.
They don't even teach you what is legal and illegal in your country. It's like you're supposed to know it. What the fuck? And then you're supposed to learn about the past instead of learning for the future, which is also so stupid. Why do we care so much about the past if we know that we're going to struggle in our future?
I'm gonna jump into bed. I will catch you guys in a bit.
Okay. Sounds good.
Ciao. What?
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao. I fucking copper wire. Yeah, no, the education system, there's so much they don't teach you. I mean, they should, you know, the whole taxes, getting a job, writing resumes and stuff. They teach you, like, if it's a good school, then yeah, they'll teach
Okay,
you.
yeah, we got taught how to do resumes, I guess.
Yeah, I got, like, a very basic...
Yeah. I didn't even do it.
Nah. I don't actually think I got job resume lessons, to be honest. I learned that from my parents.
I don't even have a CV yet, and I still get jobs every now and then.
No, I learned to write CVs from my uni and from my parents. That's it.
Yeah, I've never written a CV before, and I've still gotten a really good paid job.
I mean, you're lucky then, Callum, because a lot of places don't teach that, or, you know, basic first aid and stuff. That shit's all just optional. How to
It wasn't even optional. We didn't even get the choice to learn
basic
first
I
aid.
didn't. Like, sometimes a course might, like...
You learn that from getting your driver's license, and not everybody gets their driver's license
Oh, no, not
either.
in the UK. In the UK, you don't have... you don't do first aid with it. No. You don't need to do first aid course for your driver's license in the UK.
Oh, I don't know first aid? Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they don't teach you, like, basic first aid and stuff, or, you know, how to be a parent, how to be an adult, shit like that. Stuff that they really should be teaching you.
Did you know you can tax evade in Germany if you pay people over PayPal as friend and family?
Oh, yeah, no, my mum had. Because she's an accountant, she's obviously aware of what goes into tax evasion. For legal reasons. Obviously, she's not helping me. Or going to, nor does she do it herself. For legal reasons, obviously. But she is aware on how, because she's an accountant. The school taught me how to put wet paper towel on it. If you know, you know. Oh god, yeah.
I don't get it. I don't want to know
It's a
either
British
way.
thing.
I don't want to know either.
It's a British thing. Don't
Okay,
worry
we
about it.
used too much energy. We need another generator.
Alright, I'm already on it.
Cool.
And I got one up again.
Alright, I'll put fuel in. Do you just want to place down another one?
Yeah, sure. I got the resources. Oh no, I'm missing 5 copper wire. Damn.
I have 500.
Yeah, that's fine. I got 67 more.
Okay. Alright, just connect them and turn them on.
There you go.
Is it connected?
You could walk with it hanging off. With your arm hanging off, and all you get is a wet paper towel. Yeah, pretty much. Or an ice pack. If you're lucky, you got an ice pack. Okay, I need rotors. What do you mean? How are you not getting... Oh, you're not getting powered, that's why.
Wait, you're making rotors? I have motors, not rotors.
It's the... yeah. It's the thing that requires an assembler. Okay, why are you not connecting? Okay. Ah. Oh, fucking...
Oh, it's so late.
It's not that late.
I haven't been awake for this long since about 4 months.
Bruh.
Hey, my job started at 3 a.m., okay? Or I had to wake up at 3 a.m.
Poor guy. One more. Just...
Still think it's funny how it
Rotors,
goes
same
the
thing.
wrong way and then it just
Rotor.
teleports back. Oh, it flips itself.
One of our schoolmates had an injury and couldn't walk really good. He literally just got an ice pack. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Seems about right.
My nose was, I got punched in the nose and my nose got broken and I was said, ah, it's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I broke my leg as well at one point, or fractured it in MIS. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh, no, that was my fault, buddy.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty... Wait, really? For my
No.
foot?
What?
Wait.
I don't
Oh, didn't I
Mate,
remember like...
I don't remember anything about MIS. I don't know my past, my guy.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and I remember just getting an injury at one point in MIS.
Wasn't it basketball class?
No, that's when you just like fucked up my elbow.
Oh, yeah, that was your fault for jumping against me, man, while I had the ball.
No, that was while we were sitting down. That's what I'm
Still
thinking of.
It's still your fault.
Yeah, no, that was.
Matt,
'cause I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure I was
remember.
antagonizing you.
I don't remember shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty
You
sure I was
antagonized
antagonizing you.
me? Okay, well then you definitely deserved whatever you had coming. Hey, I still brought you to the nurse, I think.
No.
No? Yeah, I went with
No.
you.
Did you?
Yeah, I definitely went with you. I didn't want to do PE.
Oh, yeah, then maybe.
It's so annoying. The time where you didn't have to do PE anymore is the time I did PE because at least I wasn't limited by the PE stuff. But then I was like, oh, now I can run on the track whenever I want. So I started running. Oh, I can use the gym whenever I want. So I started using the gym. So PE class was useless. I got more motivated to do physical education when PE class didn't exist.
Yeah, same here.
Because you just have nothing else to do. Ooh, what's this? A pole? Ooh.
I strongly advise you to harvest this specimen.
Wait, what is she
Yeah.
trying to tell us to harvest?
Alien artifacts. I can't seem to get rid of it. I've had it because I
Where
had it
is
since the
it?
start of the. I had it since the start of this game because
Okay, I'll get the artifact. Just give me 2 seconds.
no, that's the thing. Don't think you can. It's well, there's one in the cave, but she'll keep telling you. Yeah, she'll keep telling you to harvest shit.
I don't
even
know
after you
what
pick
I
up
don't
the object in the cave.
I have no idea what an alien artifact is. I'm just assuming it's this area because it's there's like 5 mobs around it protecting
No,
it.
it's just a maybe. I don't know.
It's a glowing
Truth be
red
told.
rock.
Oh yeah, then get it. There's one in the cave.
I'll go get that one.
One guy of our school got jumped by 4 people and had many injuries, and they said it's okay, put ice on it. Oh yeah, our PE teacher gives girls A's for doing nothing and me a D for beating my class in push-ups because I was being selfish, so I tried to be. Bruh. Yeah, that teacher's clearly a pedophile and clearly fucking the students.
Ew, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, a teacher like that is clearly a nonce. No teacher would do that normally.
What is this? Summer sloop work in progress.
Yeah, it's just work in progress. The alien artifacts currently have no value at the moment.
I like that the devs just put work in progress.
Parbeth. Work in Parbeth.
It's too late for me. I still need to get used to being awake this long. Hey, at least our PE teachers were really nice.
Yeah, ours were decent.
Yeah, ours were respectful. People
In
at
Zalem,
least.
I had some really nice PE teachers as well.
Do we ever get a jetpack or something?
Yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Oh shit, head, body, knees, and toes? Hell yeah. Okay, back into the cave we go.
You can chop down all the biomatter and the mycelium that's in there. Mycelium will give you some research stuff for the man, and
Where are the spooky spiders at, huh?
there aren't too many. Thank fuck.
Well, I hear one of them, but I don't know where it is.
Hello, this is paternal figure. I have taken ill and need
That's
your
why
help
it's
to find
sick.
a cure. Doctors say that the only remedy is alien artifacts.
I guess there was no other spider. Guess you're stuck there, but oh, never mind. Can I ride the big guys?
No.
Oh, can I build on the giant fish flat dudes? Where are they? I thought I saw one. Like, oh, there is one.
And German are sexist as fuck, bruh. I'll never forget my mate absolutely 2-footing one of them, bruh. Fair play to him. Oh yeah,
Ooh.
reinforced plates, that's what I wanted.
How many?
Gone.
Okay.
I had like 50 in the chest, because I'm just making the man. Immune organism. Research. Do I have one of these? Cool.
Ma'am.
Nutrients. Research.
Wait, how do you research?
In the MAM.
What's ma'am? How do I open that?
The thing I
New
literally
object
just
added
built.
to the object scanner.
Oh, I have to go to a thing. Where is it
New
at?
research available in the MAM.
Okay.
There's also
you
quartz
just
and
built,
sulfur
that.
things. Yeah. There's quartz and sulfur deposits as well, which you can research, and that gets you shit. Research the mycelium and the MAM, which I'm hoping you picked up.
Wait, how many do I need?
It'll tell you how much you need to
Start
sacrifice.
research.
German school system really bad, not gonna lie. Bro,
Start
imagine.
research.
Ooh, Katerium.
New
Oh.
technologies can be developed.
I
with
don't have
science,
any
superconductive
hatchers stuff.
gold-like element, primarily in power and electronics. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
I forgot what the
I got
quartz and
this
sulfur-
one.
Oh, that's iron ore. Nah, I don't need it.
Wait, so what do we get? Reward power shard.
Yeah. I guess the little pillars spawning with resources is randomized. It's pure iron ore. Yeah. No idea what the sulfur is. We got such a backlog of our iron ore, it's fucking ridiculous, holy shit.
Oh, that guy's dead now. Ew. You deserve to be dead.
New resource added to the resource scanner.
Ooh, zip lines. Oh, and stun rebar.
We can Spider-Man.
Inflated pocket dimensions, expanded tool belt. Requires shit that we don't have. Rebar gun. Oh. Chemical will be sulfur. I think. Yeah, Katerium. I'm gonna go sleep because I'm tired and don't want to sleep in school tomorrow. Good night. Fair enough. Thank you for stopping by for so long. Good night and sleep well. Fuck me, that's far away. Yeah, I'm not going to get that now. Yeah, good night, buddy, and sleep well.
Good night.
We have. Hold on.
What are you? Ah!
I'm gonna make another chainsaw real quick.
Can I not kill you?
What do I need? What am I missing? Oh, just screws. As if we don't have enough of those. Nice. Cool. I have a plan. It's gonna look horrible, but I do not care. When will something exciting happen? I don't know.
Give it 10 to 10 business days.
Scans the area for set items, beeps in a rate proportional to proximity. Okay. Yeah, right. I don't know. I mean, this is the game is just building factories and stuff.
This mineral shows
You're just trying to.
synthetic quartz manufactured on Earth and can be used to improve communication and exploration technologies. A new research tree can now be accessed in the MAM.
Yeah.
Nice, I got us a new research tree.
Oh, I don't have fuel. That's why. I don't have solid fuel.
This looks like a boss arena. I love it.
Nice.
I'm going down here.
Yeah, there's like no specific thing, I guess, that would make it exciting. It's just shit happens.
Shit happens. There you go.
Yeah, you just build a factory. Like, It's less exciting and more just kind of chill. But I mean, yeah, shit happens in it. I guess it's the best way I can describe it. Like, there's a guy who is very fun for me to watch. He's Let's Gamer Now, who basically fucks about and basically fucks around with games, and it's so much fun. And he always makes horrendous shit, which is essentially what I'm doing here as well, even if it's somewhat unintentional, but slightly as well. Right, cool. That area's cleared out. I'll take these. We're not producing shit fast enough. Okay, options. Audio. Oh, I need to turn off that voice. Dialogue. I'm turning that down because I fucking hate that. Apply. I hate the woman that keeps telling me every 5 seconds to harvest shit. Like, Jesus Christ.
Just do it
I
already.
get it. There's nothing to harvest. Yeah, she's still talking. Sembla. Oh, wait, no, I picked up the wrong shit.
I got a hard drive.
Data on the hard drive has been salvaged and can be repurposed to unlock an alternate recipe. Salvaging more hard drives will provide additional alternate recipes.
Okay, I got the last thing for the monster tree in the MAM.
Oh, damn, bro. Bro, fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
What?
You've been productive with that shit?
I mean, I was looking for the monster because I was annoyed that there was one thing missing.
Fair enough.
Oh god. I'm like really far away as well.
Sembla. I want a constructor. I have one here. Okay, what are you going to assemble? You are going to assemble more reinforced plates. Speaking of, I need more reinforced plates.
I will scan the hard drive. Oh shit, it takes 10 minutes. Okay, I guess we have to wait 10 minutes.
I know what I'm gonna do. Logistics. Okay, splitter. There is more.
When
than
do I
enough
get a
ore
better
here.
weapon?
I don't know.
Is this about
I
as far as you got in your other world?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
nice.
never got that far. I told you. I haven't even completed the phase 1 of the space elevator. I got to the point of building it. That's as far as I got.
Oh, so we're the same.
Yep.
It's oh, it's so cute.
If it's a little doggy, you can feed him berries and he'll become your pet and he'll bring you shit.
No, the flying mantis thingy. I don't
Oh.
know. I'm gonna call it wyvern. The wyvern. The water mantis. I don't know.
Oh, fair enough. Don't
Is there a
mind
way
me.
for me to eat food? Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that makes combat so much easier. Holy shit. Oh my god, we're getting a storm is coming?
Is
Oh no, I really just feel like this is a storm cloud.
I have no idea. Production.
Storm is brewing.
Yeah.
Gesundheit.
Danke.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you will do that.
So it just needs rotors. And then it's good to go.
Let's.
Oh, I could craft that. That's what I unlocked. I'm gonna make more biomass so we don't run out of fuel.
Good idea. Oh, there we go. There's the iron
Because
ore
I'm pretty
slowly
certain
coming.
we're about to run out of fuel.
It's possible. Who knows? Logistics, conveyor splitter. Production.
Oh my
disregard.
god.
Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna bother with that. I just need a fuck ton of those reinforced plates. God, I'm making this such a mess. Yeah, so much for you stopping me from keeping this a mess.
What am I gonna do, huh? Yell at you?
Oh, I guess you could.
Exactly.
Oh no, don't
That's-
shout at me, Daddy. What?
Fuck off,
What?
kid. You wanna be treated like a child? I'll treat you like a child.
You
Oh my god.
will.
You're not funny.
I don't know what you mean. I'm hilarious. Comedy goals. I can already hear all the jackpot signs going off every time I make a funny joke. I'm
Wow.
just that funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Ah. Ah.
Time to go on a local deforestation run. Because who wants local wildlife? Like, honestly, fauna is so overrated.
For honor?
No, fauna. 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 Flora and fauna. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I meant flora, not fauna. Flora. Flora is plant life. Fauna is wildlife. But I guess
The
same thing
mycelia within
applies.
this fungus suggests strong molecular bonding features.
Yeah, there you go.
critical
You've
for
harvested the
research
mycelia.
and medicine, both beneficial for field research. A new research tree can now be accessed.
Getting
in the lab.
limestone. Okay. Fuck it.
I was hoping to get the other mushroom.
Yeah, the big mushroom stalks you can harvest.
Yeah, but I mean, for the one tree, I need like an umbrella looking thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Oh, it's Caterium. Oh, bruh. There's some right here the whole time. And it said it was far away. Power slide my way here. Big tree. Can I cut you down? Yes, I can. Nice. I gotta do something while I wait for those circuits to complete.
Ay, caramba.
There we go. Starting to look a lot better. Oh, I'm out of fuel. Damn.
Marsupio. There is a big boy in our base.
Just zap him away.
No. Hi, buddy. Can I jump on you?
In the personal chest, I'm putting a bunch of wooden leaves that I collected.
He's bouncy! Oh my god! Yo, this is so
What?
cool!
What?
He's bouncy.
Hmm. Just got Cod World at war. I can sense some violations of the Geneva Convention coming. Yup. Have fun. Oh yeah. What was I? That's why. Why would you want? What was I originally doing? Oh yeah. Did I end up getting the constructor? I did. If you want to make some more biofuel, there's some wooden leaves in the personal chest. You're wet.
I'm bouncing.
Oh no, I don't need a smelter. Tractor. And make iron rods.
I'm having fun bouncing.
Spit it up. No. You also make irons. Oh yes, you need power, don't you? Is there a power station that's not fully used? Ugh. That one's at 4. Why is that one at 4? I don't know. Yeah.
Let's go check out the ma'am. Okay, would you like to have an alternate recipe for iron alloy ingots, copper rotors, or caterium wire?
Not really too bothered.
So, copper sheets, iron ore, and copper ore to make iron alloy? Interesting, gives us 5, but that's difficult to make. I mean, can we make copper sheets already?
I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'll just pick this. Select your desired reward. Well, I'm selecting it. Oh, there we go. Bada bing. Marsupial.
Logistics, conveyor merger.
We can now make fabric.
Nice.
I think.
I'll take your word for it.
I think. Parachute.
No idea what that's for, though, to be fair.
And I need more quartz. So I'm gonna go find more quartz after I made 5 ugly things. Nice. Inflated pocket dimension.
Yep.
We used too much power.
Did we?
Yep. No, wait. Nope, never mind. This one ran out of fuel. There you go. Oh, no, we do use too much power. None of them ran out of fuel.
Yeah. Alright, cool.
You can see if they run out of fuel if the pole is red. If the pole is yellow, then it has
Oh, I'm
fuel.
missing like a couple rods down.
I don't have any.
There we go.
Where is
There's
the
a fucking-
personal chest? Oh, there it is.
Like I said, I got plenty of
Yeah. I just didn't know what the personal chest was.
yeah. Got lots of stuff for us. Hey, you already researched quartz, nice. Yeah, we actually need to fuel and turn the thing back on.
Okay, I got it. I would also like to go to bed.
Alright.
Alright. I will call it here. Think this is pretty decent progress
Yeah, definitely.
for 3 hours.
Oh, come on, we're missing 18 more of those plates.
Okay, fine. I'll wait 18 plates. Wait, which
No,
ones?
I think that's
Reinforced
gonna take-
iron plate?
No, for the smart plating, which is going to take 8, because we've only just got to 32. That'll take ages, don't worry about it. Which one is making smart plating, I'll be honest? No, that one's making rotors.
No one's making iron plate. One's making reinforced iron plate.
This one. Ah,
I have a bunch of
Right.
reinforced iron plate. There, I tossed it in there. Now we just need the weird copper rotors, right?
no. That's the wrong thing. We need these special motors here.
Special motors. I have motors.
Hold on a sec. Organization.
No, you need rotors, not motors.
That's why I said rotor.
Well, we have plenty. How many of the smart plating do we have?
Like I said, we have 32.
Oh, so we only need 18. Wait,
Yeah,
we
that's what I
have
said.
we have enough then.
No, we don't. We need 50 smart plating.
Yeah, we only need 17 more, which we have 17 rotors in the thing right now. So now we just have to wait
Yeah, but it takes a
2
long
per
time to
minute.
produce,
Yeah,
that's the
that's
issue.
fine. I can wait 10 minutes.
Alternative copper rotor. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Uses copper sheets instead of metal rods.
Yep. So I can wait 10 minutes. I think my eye won't die till then.
Sticks, conveyor splitter.
This is a big mess, buddy.
Yep,
Okay.
I don't see a problem.
I wish this game didn't allow for stuff like this.
Don't know what I mean.
Hmm. Oh my god.
What?
Nothing.
Logistics, conveyor merger. Instead, you will go this way. Okay, what else do you need? You've got the rods and you need screws. Hmm. I have a line that's making screws that isn't already in use.
We have 37.
Okay, this one's already getting split off. Oh, onto this one here. How's that one going? Man. Huh?
What are you looking at?
I'm thinking. I'll just take this one. Take off that merger. And, production another constructor. You will make screws. Go. Is there a power line nearby that's free? Yes. Cool. God, some of the fun is making a mess in this. Or at least I find it fun. And this is already slow,
Yeah.
level 1 conveyors as well, which makes it even better. Yo. You are making rotors.
That was so cool.
What was?
You built your conveyor belt and I slid right under it while it was being built.
Oh, that's cool.
That was so cool. I was like parkouring around the factory.
This is the, okay, this one makes the rotors. And here's where it's split. So, logistics, I'll have a merger. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, if Blitz ever sees this, he's going to not be a happy bunny.
Who would be?
Good point. I mean, Jesus Christ, this is a mess. So, you know what? Fuck it. Let's, before we end the stream, I'm gonna do a little final tour. So we can have in the edit, if that ever gets done, we can look back from where we started to, where we are now. So when we started, it was very basic. We had the personal miners, the small little fuckers. And now we have one copper mine, just one, which is feeding along and feeding all of our copper industry. All this spaghetti of shit. All these copper cables, which is just, you know, here. To finally get to all our copper cables and all our, well, cables, our copper wiring and our cables. Yeah. That's all our copper industry, just on one thing there. We have our concrete, which is mixing nicely. Just one thing, that's all we need. And that is just piping through the whole factory past all this iron production. All this backed up iron stuff, all the iron mines back there. Heavily backed up, mind you. It splits them off onto here. Yeah, all the 3 iron mines there. You got our limestone, which goes into our concrete. Actually, it just goes into here and here. Jesus. What the fuck is that even making? Just rods. Oh, okay, cool. Hold on. While we're here, can I, there we go. No. While we're here, might as well. Perfect. Cool.
Nice.
And that can be rods as well. And then that can merge onto here. There we go, we're getting a nice steady flow of pipes. Ah, yeah. All these pipes, the ingots, all the fucking screws and shit, these plates. How are we actually doing for plates? Oh, yeah, no, we're doing pretty good. Could be making more, though. A lot of the plates going into here. Oh, wow, this is really not making enough plates. Hey. There's our plate production.
I have the 50 things.
Hmm.
You want to put it into the transporter thingy?
Oh, into the space elevator.
Yeah.
Could do. Give me a second. I just wanna
Yeah, all good.
see when we're backing up on iron. Hey, there we go. This line is starting to flow again. Nice. I mean, truth be told, this that third pipes thing that I placed down. I'm gonna turn that into plates. Conveyor merger there, and then yoink. There we go. More plates. Yeah, we've got all these fuck ton of mergers and stuff. We are we're sitting pretty on shit in this hellhole of a factory. Alright, let's go to the space elevator. Whee! Bonk out. Alright, come on, let's go. Roger.
Yes. I will put in the 50 chips and I will seal it. Okay, didn't do anything. I have to hold it. Okay, it has been sealed. Did anything change? No. And I will... Okay, I guess you have to do it all in one. That sucks.
There we go. I got it.
I didn't know you had to do it all in one. I thought it was a staged process.
Oh, here we go.
So is it just gonna shoot it up into space? Whoa! It does shoot it up into space.
Oh, and phase 2 is 500 of those fuckers.
Congrats.
Jesus Christ.
You only touched
my
the
drinks.
surface.
Yeah.
Not
It
even
took us-
scratched, just touched.
Yeah, it took us 3 hours and 20 minutes to get to that point.
Yes,
We are
sir.
far from the speedrun record. But we're now making them. Okay, before we sign off, I wanna quickly, let's go to the, station and see, in the hub, see what we've unlocked now in terms of tiers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, damn it, can't slide under that one.
If it has done anything new.
Okay, yeah, we got tiers 3 and 4.
Ooh,
Coal power, that's what we
vehicles.
want.
Vehicle.
Gosh, the factory's a mess. Oh,
We got
yeah,
a tractor. We got a...
Okay.
We got a weapon.
Oh yeah, tractor.
Improved melee combat.
Oh yeah, the Xenobasher. There you go. Yeah, what we want to start working towards is coal power, because that will stop us depending on biofuel and stuff, and it's also produces a lot more power. And I think we genuinely have everything we need.
Where do
I mean,
we
we definitely
find
have the
coal?
cables.
Oh, the coal's
It will
research.
allow us to, yeah, it'll allow us to ping for it.
Bless you.
Yeah, I think we have enough cables. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 1,200 cables.
I mean, what about
Something
wire?
tells me-
I just tossed in some of the wire I had in my inventory. We have a lot
We
of wire.
have 1, 2, 3, 3.6k cables,
Nice.
couple wires. Fucking
Nice.
hell. Alright, let's see how many motors and reinforced plates we got now.
Rotors.
Oh, that's gonna take a little rotors. Motors. We don't have.
No, they're
motor.
different. Motor is. I have motor in my inventory.
How the fuck do you have?
I looted the
No,
world.
You don't. Well, no, because you can't. I
Yes,
can't
come
search it
here.
up, so it's probably.
Come here. I will show you that you were wrong.
Oh shit. Okay. It's probably
There.
junk. Because
There is a different. No, it's not junk. It says the motor creates a mechanical force that is used to move things from machines to vehicles. So it's
No idea what
probably
we would use it
used
for,
for the vehicles.
maybe.
I'm assuming it would make sense.
Yeah, true. Well, now we just have to. I mean, making the things shouldn't take too long. I wonder if we can also get assembler Mark II. Basic steel production. The foundry smelts 2 resources into alloy ingots. Oh, okay, that's cool. So we wouldn't need 1 smelter, we'd make 2. These produced ingots can be automatically extracted. Yeah, okay. It can be. So it just okay. No, that's good. Advanced. Oh, the miner Mark II. That would be good. Though we need. Hypertubes. We can already get hypertubes. Fucking hell! All right. No, what we want though is like it was a shame we can't get smelt or assembler Mark II. Shit like that. Because that's what we really need. The constructor Mark II, or something like that, a better constructor. One that, a better constructor and a better assembler, one that goes faster. But if you want to call it here, we can do.
Yes, please.
Okay, sounds good. I'll quickly deliver these 3 of each.
Goodbye, chat.
Yoink, yoink.
See
There
you
we go. Cool.
next
Well, I'm ready when you are.
time. I already said goodbye to my chat.
Yeah. Bye. Yeah, alright. Goodbye, Callum. And goodbye, people.
Bye,
If I-
chat.
There we go.